O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show. This
So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but you know, cuttersedgepro.com does some amazing stuff, and they're the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that. The two dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that. Gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them. They like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do. They play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden. She's the girl right here. She's a badass. That's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. cuttersedgepro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in the corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go. So you're getting some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Slomin Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Slomin Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Slomin Shield.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. The viewpoints, stance, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Welcome aboard, baby. Time to rock and roll here on the show, coming to you live from the KSDT CPA offices here in Dadeland, one of many offices. Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, and now in North Carolina. Also, yes, sir, and they're hiring. Jeffrey Tarabolas joining us here, managing partner, of course, of KSDT CPA. How you doing, baby? You doing all right?
I am doing great. It's a great sports week, let me tell you.
Oh, my God. That was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that game, I maybe old news now because you're already on Friday, but the way Tua played, I will never utter out of my mouth again that we picked the wrong quarterback. That guy is awesome.
Well, the thing about football is our anger is carried throughout the entire week if it's loss.
Yeah.
And if it's a win, our happiness is carried out throughout the entire week because it just,
And the excitement for the next game to see it again.
It again. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of like looking for, okay, so now, can you do it against Belichick now this week?
And then I gave
stuff.
some thought to the San Diego people to score 34 points and come out with a loss. That hurts.
Well,
for San Diego.
It's what I tell people when they were, we got to get Jonathan Taylor. We got to get Dalvin Cook. And it's like, bro, they ran for 234 yards and lost.
Yeah.
The game is won through the air.
Yep.
It's changed.
Yeah.
And you know what? Sometimes us older people are like, we're the ones that they point the fingers at us. And sometimes, we're the old man on the lawn, get off my lawn and all that stuff. But sometimes, you have to adjust in life. And by the way, in your business, my Lord, talk about adjusting every single moment of every month that something changes. And you have to adjust that the game has changed.
Absolutely.
Just like basketball. You and I grew up that the 2-point game was big and Kareem and the hook and the dunk and all that stuff. And then the 3-point game came and all of a sudden the math has changed.
Absolutely.
And the math changes in football. And if you think you're going to survive running and running and running, I was thinking about this last night when I'm watching the Eagles. I'm going, man, they've got a really good team. But if they can't all of a sudden start just jacking it downfield with their arm, they're going to put up some great numbers. They're going to get some wins, but they're always going to lose to that better quarterback and the better passing game.
And you know what? One of the things too about that game is that people were not happy with the defense until the end.
Right.
But I saw it completely differently. I mean, I think the way he had the defense, he had the safeties like pretty much outside the stadium.
You read it right.
So that's why they ran so much. He was like, you guys can run all you want.
You're not getting anything over the top.
Exactly. And I think he took that long game away from them the whole game. And I don't think anybody saw that. Everyone was so unhappy with the defense. But when it came time, though, then he brought those safeties up. And then he blitzed and he changed it up on him. I think it was great defensive play.
He surprised him because he had not used it pretty much throughout the game. And so then he just whipped it out late in the game. And Kohu and Sealer and all these guys surprised the hell out of him. And I think that really helped out. And I think they also you're right, because I talked about this throughout the week. After watching the film, it was just that they were fine to live with that.
Yeah.
Now, do they want to give up 234 yards again? No, but I think eventually guys will figure things out and get better against the run, because they were a good run team.
I think the idea is to show something completely different than what you showed last week, because they already saw that on tape. They're ready for that.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So if a good coach, a good defensive coach, whoever it may be, is going to have to come and show something different.
Yeah, especially with the guy you're playing.
That's why I think this week, the guys who have a great game this week are Berrios and guys like Waddle and stuff like that. Because what does Belichick do? He's the great guy at taking away the one thing you're good at.
Right.
So he's going to, people say Tyreek Hill is not guardable, right? But he's going to some extent, put two guys out there on Tyreek, and it's going to make it harder for him this week. So I think a good coach hopefully adjusts this week, or even Tua, the way he can recognize things and sees Berrios, sees Craycraft, sees Waddle, and really just goes crazy with those guys this week.
Yeah. You definitely have to change it up. There's no doubt. Plus, I'd like to see the running game a little bit more this week, and it's the same thing on defense. Fangio wanted to play it one way, and to me, McDaniel wanted to play it another way too. He wanted, because everybody talked about how Staley took away the middle of the field. Mm-hmm. He wanted to make a point in that game. Nobody's taking any part of the field away from me. And he attacked the middle of that field and just shredded it.
Yep.
So he would end all of that, So it was good, man. It was just a lot of fun.
So I've been working late this week. It's obviously tax day today. I don't know if you guys all know that's tax day. So I've been staying up late, and I kind of rewatched the Dolphin game because, the excitement, you don't get to see everything.
Right.
The passes to threw. The one on the third down play to Berrios, we had to extend for it.
Yeah.
The one in the end zone to Tariq, right over the shoulder. I mean, just some beautiful passes. I mean, amazing. I was very, very excited to see.
So when he stepped out of the pocket and then threw it 47, 50 yards.
I mean, he had a couple underthrows, but I mean, altogether, what an amazing.
They all have underthrows.
Yeah.
Every quarterback has underthrows.
Yeah.
That's not something new. It's funny how they make it sound like every other quarterback except Tua is always throwing everybody in stride.
Yeah.
Actually, Tua throws more in stride than the average quarterback does.
And
that's the part that you have to look at it that way. Don't pick one or two passes that came up short, because that happens to every quarterback, dude. Even Mahomes, plenty of times that receivers have to wait. But they already had enough space, so they were able to wait a little bit.
And this wasn't a shabby defense. You got Bosa, and they were running right at him sometimes.
Yeah.
And he was getting rid of the ball quick. I mean, it was just altogether a beautiful game.
Yeah, they designed it perfectly. Offensive line, offense, everything. Things
without Teron
Armstead. Kendall Lamb played really well. And Austin Jackson, maybe he's turning the corner. We'll find out. Over the next month, 6 weeks, Teron is going to be tested many times. I'm not Teron, Austin. And we're going to find out. In the next month, we're going to find out that if he plays like he played this past week, then we know, okay, he figured it out. He turned the corner. And then the other one is, it's really good to see how Mario has the team. Because I was going to talk about this today on the show. You know what we're back to now? We're back to being bored against bad teams.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that? So when they're good, oh, God, we're playing Bethune-Cookman today. Oh, yeah, that's going to be a murder. Oh, yeah, they're playing Temple next week. That's going to be – but over the last couple of years –
those games were hard.
Those games were like you were concerned, like, oh, crap, man, we can't play against East Carolina State University, and we're struggling to beat them by 2 points by the end of the game. Or we lost to, whatever crappy team or whatever. So that's the beauty of it. So last night I'm sitting there going – hey, man, I'm back to being bored again. This is awesome. Yeah. But it's good that Mario has them playing. It's interesting how in life you can do things all kinds of ways, right? You can be John Gruden and John Madden on the sidelines like a maniac. You could be, Tony Dungy, your cigar store mannequin. You could be Dick Vermeil crying every which way possible, right? There's no right way to win, right? McDaniel's super positive, all that kind of stuff. There's no right way to do it, right? Look at what Deion Sanders is doing in Colorado.
That's been exciting, actually.
Right, and he did it right away in the first year. But you look at now Mario in the second year after he cleaned out house and tweaked his coaching staff. Now he's got the kids playing the way he wants them to play. And he does it differently. He does it a little bit more traditionally.
He's old school.
Yeah, he's old school. He went through the first year of, let me see what I got.
Yeah.
Where Deion did not waste any time, and he said, no, this is a 111 team. I'm cleaning out house, and I'm bringing everybody I want. Mario was a little bit more traditional, and he said, all right, let me go for a year, see what I got, and then he weeded out what he didn't need and then brought it all in and kept what he wanted to, which, okay, that's fine. There's no right way or wrong way to do it. You know what I mean? But I do love what Mario's doing now, because now they look like a responsible football team, right? That's what I like about it. They're fundamentally sound now.
Yeah.
Now they're not, and none of that craziness that was going on before that was out of whack.
They're exciting. It's going to be fun to watch them when they come up against some other big teams again now.
Yeah.
So FSU is going to be a tough game.
Oh, yeah. No, of course. But Norvell is congratulations to Mike Norvell. He has done a marvelous job there in turning that program around, whether it's recruiting and obviously in the transfer portal. He's been absolutely excellent. Yeah. And they are a little ahead, obviously. This is what, his fourth year, right? Am I right? Yeah, because didn't he come with the quarterback? Isn't this the quarterback's fourth year also? Oh, fifth year? I'm not sure, but he's been there a while. So Mario's only in his second year, and I understand that. FSU should be ahead of them. But let me tell you, that's a game that if you win it, that makes your season right there, dude.
Absolutely.
That makes your season. And you got a shot at winning the ACC all of a sudden now.
Yep.
If you beat FSU, you actually have a shot. Because if you look at Clemson.
That one's been a disappointment, huh?
Right.
Wow.
Right. They don't look nearly as scary as they used to look.
Yeah.
So it's losing Venables, losing some of his assistant coaches, and it doesn't look like he has the quarterback yet.
Yeah,
like he's had in the past.
absolutely.
And that's the problem too for him. But yeah, it's football's changed down here now.
Yep.
It's headed in the right direction,
for sure.
you know. And think about it. We have a quarterback now that is undefeated against Belichick.
Yep.
I mean, you know, and the Dolphins are favored on the road in New England. We got to go back to the Marino years for that to happen, dude.
It's going to be a fun game. You know, I'm so sad I'm going to be on an airplane on Sunday night.
Well, but
I hope I can get it on the airplane.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Usually they have Sunday night. Yeah, I think you'll be able to do it because it's going to be on NBC, right?
NBC. I should have. I have Peacock, so I'll be able to watch it.
Yeah, and I think NBC is one of those plain type of channels that they usually have deals with. You usually see NBC. I think you'll be able to. I think you're lucky that you're watching a Sunday night game. Maybe if it was a regular 1 p.m. game, maybe you have problems seeing that because that you would need the ticket. But I think because it's Sunday night.
I got the ticket too. So.
Yeah, but you won't have it on the plane.
I know, that's true, yeah.
You know what I mean? Although if you had a device and your Wi-Fi, you know, as long as the Wi-Fi is – you're not like on Frontier Airlines.
No, we're going American to Wisconsin. We're headed to Wisconsin.
Okay.
So it'll be a whole week in Wisconsin next week.
Okay. All right. Because if you're on Frontier Airlines, to say, nah, you better bring a hanger.
Yeah.
Maybe you can pick up a signal somewhere. Anyway, so what's new in the KSDT CPA world in North Carolina?
Looking for people right now. We got a lot of work over there. Brand new office, could fit like at least 11 or 12 people. I've only got one right now, so got a lot of people to fill over there.
Our North Carolina folks, you're looking for some work. KSDT CPA Accounting Services, looking for work. Come on.
Absolutely. And, we're growing by leaps and bounds every day. We have some potential.
You're in Charlotte, right?
We're in Charlotte.
Okay. Just make sure.
So we're growing, but we're growing all over the place and looking for people here in South Florida as well. We cannot hire people fast enough for the amount of work we have. We want to continue to give our clients amazing service. It's not just about getting the tax returns done, getting the accounting work done. It's going and spending time with the clients, understanding what are their pain points, how we can help them, improve their businesses. We do a lot more than just compliance work,
Right.
So it's about the more people I have, the more time I can spend with my clients and help them out with all of their business needs, basically.
And if you're looking for work, folks, the environment here is second to none. They added a new thing on Thursday nights. They're all getting together. They got games going on, drinks, all kinds of stuff, and they're watching Thursday Night Football and all that. The camaraderie in this place is amazing. I tell you all the time, I'm in a break room that's like 2,000 square feet. It's got a foosball. It's got TVs. It's got multiple refrigerators. It's got multiple microwaves. I mean, the kitchen is just ginormous, dude. It's amazing. So it's just a great company that has a great atmosphere, great vibe, and just kudos to you, man. You know what I mean? It's just Alan, obviously, who's an absolute
we're trying
maniac.
To be different than any other firm that's out there.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
I can tell you. No, you're a different business, period. Not just an accounting firm and tax firm and all that. It's just a different business the way you go about it. Who the hell has a foosball table?
You spend a lot of time at work. We try to have fun while we're here.
Yeah, exactly.
Tonight, unfortunately, we're going to be here till midnight. Because it's deadline night. But we'll have breaks. We're going to have food all night. Serving lunch, serving dinner, having a good time here. While we get through this deadline.
So, folks, if you are looking for Dade, Broward, Palm Beach offices, and if you live in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, which I know we have a lot of listeners in North Carolina, if you live somewhere in that area and you're looking for work, KSDT CPA offices are looking forward to it. All right, and if again, personal and home, if you need your taxes done, reach out to the great people here at KSDT CPAs. We always show you that QR code there. You can use that QR code to reach out to them. So what else is new?
Not much.
Racing?
Yeah, we have the race coming up in Homestead. We'll have a car in Homestead. Looking forward to that.
Who's the driver?
So far, I think it might be Garrett Smithley.
Okay.
Garrett's been with us for many, many years, off and on. We've had a couple other drivers in between, but we're excited to potentially have Garrett. We have to talk to the race team and work it out with them. It's either going to be Garrett Smithley or Kyle Weatherman.
Okay. All right. Yeah. What's the next racing trip for you besides Homestead?
really busy with work right now. So the next one for me is going to be Homestead.
Okay.
I wanted to go to Vegas, but it's the week before, and then I'm going to be in Key West after that. So I got to spend some time with the family,
Okay. We'll go to Vegas for you at the end of this month.
I'm going to maybe call you guys and maybe sneak out for a day and hang out with you guys.
Come on, let's go, man. Gonna go out for the Canelo fight.
Yeah, that's cool.
Plus, I'm gonna catch you two on the first night at the Sphere.
If you get me tickets for Canelo fight, I'll tell the wife, hey, I gotta go.
Okay. All right. So the Sphere, I'll work on the tickets.
Okay.
But anyway, I got tickets for the first night to go see you two at the Sphere, and that really is cool. Because I already have tickets for December 8th and 9th. And I wasn't going to this one, actually. Initially, I was going to go because my birthday's October 1st.
You got to give me the December 8th and 9th tickets then.
No, I'm going to December 8th and 9th. This one I wasn't going until we cut the deal with Showtime. And then so they're flying us out there. And I go, well, while I'm out there, all right, let me go see if I can find tickets. And I found tickets I found a ticket for the first night.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. It's hard to come by, dude.
I believe it.
Jesus, brother. Are you a big U2 guy?
I was back in the day. I haven't really, been listening that much,
So you haven't listened to their last few albums?
No, I haven't.
They're still making amazing music, bro.
I'm back in my high school days is what I love, that era of,
Unforgettable
89.
Fire, War, what's it called? Joshua Tree.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously. Those are amazing albums. War is still my favorite album, actually. And Unforgettable Fire is probably my second.
I've become a country
album.
Guy now. I'm more into country now than anything else.
Really?
Yeah, I'm big time into country. My wife got me into it, and we go to every country music concert that's anywhere here in South Florida or nearby. She's a huge Old Dominion fan. We big time Old Dominion fans.
Okay. All right. Good stuff, man. All right, Jeffrey Tarabolas. Yes, Jeffrey,
sir.
as always, thank you, my brother.
No problem.
Appreciate
Thank
you
you
immensely. Thank you for being great sponsors and great supporters of our platform. We really appreciate it.
You guys are welcome here any day you want.
Thank you. We look forward to doing some in Palm Beach or North Carolina. We got to do some in some of the other stops. But next month, we're in Homestead, baby.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Jeffrey.
All right, thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Have a good day.
All right, folks, we are ready to rock and roll here on the show at KSDT CPA offices. Remember, Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County. We've got offices here in South Florida, got an office in North Carolina and Charlotte. So if you are looking for work, there's the QR code right there. Tax season, help your personal business taxes, all of that, man. Give me 2 minutes. We'll be right back right here on the Big O Radio Show.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Slomin Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Slomin Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Slomin Shield.
viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
We're back for more KSDT CPA offices here in Dadeland. Don't forget, use that QR code. If you're late on your taxes, right there, bro, use the QR code, business or personal taxes. They will take care of you. Great people, man. Jeffrey and all the great people, Alan, all the amazing people in this building. They really do a great job, and multiple locations and top 200 firm by Forbes. Manny Navarro is set to join us at 10:30, so we'll talk a little bit about the Canes at 10:30. Antoine Staley, our buddy, is going to join us at 11:30, New York Daily News. Get the latest on the Jets as Aaron Rodgers had his surgery, and it was successful. I got a couple things I want to talk to Antoine about. Safed Dean will stop by at noon with our BaptistHealth.net/ortho Miami Dolphins report. And then it's Cameron Wolfe at 12:30. So we will have some fun, Cam, with our KSDT CPA, Miami Dolphins, and NFL report. So we got a loaded show for you. Got a bunch of things to talk about. Canes took care of business yesterday against Bethune, 48-7 to improve to 3-0. Van Dyke was solid. You even got a little playing time for the backup, which was good. They rushed for 240 yards on 36 carries as a team. A.J. Allen had 12 receptions 12 rushes for 68 yards and 2 touchdowns. Chaney had 7 for 73 and a touchdown. Restrepo had 120 yards. They controlled it, man. And could they have scored more if they really wanted to? Yeah, it wasn't a contest, but Mario's just not that guy that's going to embarrass you just to do that. He's old school. He's more traditional. He's more respectful in that sense. And I don't have a problem with that. He didn't need to show me anything more. I like what I saw in game 1 and in game 3 against bad teams. You took hold of it, you took control of it, and you dominated them, and that's it. Whereas in the last few years here, we don't even know, we can't even trust the Canes against anyone. Doesn't matter. Sorry, before I say this, they could even lose to FIU. You know what I'm saying? So, and nothing against FIU, love FIU, but Miami has no business losing to anybody. Not FIU, not FAU, not the Lions up in Memorial? What they are, FIL or FMU? FMU. You can't lose to FMU. You can't lose to anybody. USF, UCF. No. Florida State. That's different. You shouldn't be losing to anybody in the state. You should never even be threatened. Okay, and that's what I've seen in those 2 games. And I'm happy with what I'm watching I'm back to being bored. Instead of being nervous against crap university, okay? Oh, this week the Canes are playing snot-nosed university, and they beat them by 2 points. Or they lose to East Carolina Technical Institute by 5, and you're freaking out. That's what used to happen here for several years because your coaches were so bad, they would play down to the competition. And that's not what's going on anymore. And to me, that's progress. When I'm back to being bored, and I expect to be bored next week when you're playing Temple. Okay? That was beautiful because the second the clock hit 8:20, I moved the Canes game over to the smaller TV, and I put on the Eagles and the Vikings instead, which didn't start off very entertaining either at the beginning. overall. But, we'll get into that game in a few minutes. But I love the fact that I'm back to being bored. Okay? So bore the shit out of me against Temple. Bore the shit out of me against Georgia Tech. You know why? You're supposed to kick their ass. So kick their ass and bore the hell out of me. And then we could get to North Carolina, which is really the next game. When is it? October 14th. That's really the next test. It's at North Carolina. And that's the kind of game that I want to see you go and win that game. You know what I mean? But bore me against Georgia Tech. Control those people and beat them by 30 points. Control Temple. Beat them by 40. We're good. We're good. Bore me. Bore me plenty. That's progress when it comes to the University of Miami. I love it. Don't forget, folks, if your business wants to be a part of our platform, 786-754-4664. We have 4 broadcasts on the road at Walk-Ons for our Miami Dolphins pre- and post-game shows. So we haven't found a full home for the entire season, but the great people at Walk-Ons have committed to 4 different games. So the first one will be against the Denver Broncos on September 24th. Sean and myself will be there. The next one will be New England, October 29th at 1 p.m. Then on November, it's one every month. November 19th against the Raiders at 1 p.m. And then on December 31st against the Ravens at 1 p.m. So New Year's Eve, we'll be doing our thing. Then we could just go home and count down the days, count down the hours until the new year. Why? What's going on? What's that? Say it again. Yeah. I don't know. I doubt it. You'll be too drunk, right, to cut up the video and the audio. So I don't know. It's just post game, bro. We post the whole thing and that's it. It's over. We just post the show and we're done, bro. That's it. You don't have to slice it up like a Ginsu and all that like you normally do. It's not on the 31st, bro. People are too drunk to go back to it, so it's all good. As long as they win and we have a fun post-game show that they kick the Ravens' ass again and win, that's all. That's all. Don't you love what's happening with Tua? Huh? You own the Patriots. The Ravens don't push you around anymore. Some of those things that used to happen pre-Tua, you never had a quarterback pre-Tua. It's a beautiful thing, man. Instead of looking at it, some of you, like, you try to find every negative. There's a lot of positives, dude. A lot of positives. You're favored in New England. I don't know. Up until Marino, I don't know anybody else after that. What quarterback was favored in New England for the Miami Dolphins? I don't even think it existed. A quarterback favored in New England. No, because Brady was there always. So there's no way. There's no way. That's how nutty that is. Gus 1388, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, happy birthday to legend Dan Marino. Tomorrow is mine, and all I want is a win on Sunday night and a Super Bowl win in the near future. Fins up. Right. Well, happy early birthday to you, Gus 1388. Appreciate you. Radio host chimes in with a super chat. He says, I want to get bored with the Dolphins. These back and forth lead changes are going to give me a heart attack. I hope we slaughter a lot of teams this year. I think they will. I think this one will be a close game, but I think this is one of those games that Miami could be in control throughout the game. But, I don't think they're going to blow them up because I give New England some respect on their defense. But Miami's going to win this game. All right, ready to go? Let's do it. Manny Navarro is locked and loaded. The Canes got it done last night. They improved to 3-0. Let's get to our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
Manny,
good morning.
How you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
I am awesome. You know why? Mario has brought the boredom back.
He really has. None of these games have been very exciting.
And that's good. And see, I was explaining this. We're back to boredom. I'm sitting there last night going, this is like watching Club and Seals. This is awesome. Not Club and Seals, but it's just boring. It's just there's no challenge. And now you're not playing East Carolina Tech University all the way to the fourth quarter and you're barely leading, or you're losing to Southern Mississippi Technical University College late in the fourth quarter. And that was the Canes under several coaches here, that you would lose to FIU, or you're barely beating what was that? The team up in Michigan,
Central Michigan,
and all that kind of shit. And so I'm looking at them going, all right, well, game 1 and game 3, you got the crappy teams, and you treated them like crappy teams. And Miami could have won by 75 points if they felt like it yesterday, and they didn't, because he's more traditional, and that's cool. I got no problem with that. But boredom is a beautiful thing. So I'm hoping that I get bored next week again against Temple. You know what I'm saying? It's really nice to have boredom back.
Well, boredom and health, I think, are the two things you want as a football program. And yesterday they got 63 guys into the game. So 63 is a good number. I remember when Miami used to do that regularly, right? You get all these freshmen and second-year guys that never play into the game. Well, that's happening again. These guys are getting snaps. And I think people forget how important that is. That's why the Ohio States and the Alabamas and the Georgias of the world who play in the playoff every single year have quick transition from one year to the next, because those guys go in and it's not the first time they've been in a game. And so Mario is back to doing that. And I like the fact that he only gave Tyler Van Dyke a half yesterday. I didn't like the fact that Tyler Van Dyke was running the ball. I was kind of nervous the two times he took off.
Although that was a great call for the touchdown. I mean, you could tell they were we were all surprised.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Luckily, the cameraman wasn't. He stayed with the play and he figured it out. But the rest of us were like, "Hey, is that Tyler Van Dyke with a play design run there and everything for a touchdown?" That was beautiful, bro. That was smart.
Yeah. Smart. Give teams something to think about, I guess. And Tyler, look, he's never been, I think, immobile, right? Or unmobile. Like he's been able to move. He's been able to escape the pocket. He just never chooses to run. And frankly, in this offense, you really don't need him to, the way that they have running backs running the football and the way they're playing in space. So it's good to see Miami take care of business, like you said. No hiccups, no injuries. And so I think everything coming out of this game was positive.
Yeah. And the running and Don Chaney, A.J. Allen, all these guys. Restrepo had a really nice game, overall. It's just good, man. And now you got, again, Temple, Georgia Tech over the next couple of weeks. Shouldn't be really difficult to test. Again, you got to take care of business, and that's what I like also, that Mario, yesterday you're playing against a team that you easily could have a letdown after Texas A&M, and you didn't have a letdown. To me, that's also another good thing of the coaching staff, that he has their attention, because as you and I know, and the Canes Nation knows, we've seen a lot of lulls in with this team, a lot of ups and downs and inconsistencies. And I think it's really important. It shows that Mario has a good pulse of his team because they are responding to him. And that's something that I don't think any of the other coaches in the last few years can say about their teams.
Yeah, I mean, we've only seen it in bits and pieces. We haven't seen sustained success
Right.
at Miami for a long time, and these guys always seem to have a mental relapse when you least expect it. Right? It's always an opponent that you're not expecting, jumps up and bites him in the ass. And you're like, what's wrong with these guys? Why? And he didn't show any signs of that yesterday. Miami didn't show any signs of that yesterday, and that's encouraging. And I think a lot of it, again, it's what you and I talked about when I was in Charlotte, which is this leadership council, right? Like I told you, those 13 guys. Policing themselves, Tyler Van Dyke, Xavier Restrepo, all the guys that are supposed to be leading are leading. And I don't think you had that. I think when Miami in 2017 had their fabulous season where they started 10-0 and got to number 2 in the country, they had some of that stuff. So to me, that's the stuff I'm looking for going forward is, how much of this is the players themselves sort of taking care of business, holding each other accountable, making sure that that they don't let things fall off, don't let go of the rope, so to speak.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic, man. I just love the way everything is coming together for Mario in the second year. And by the way, you can see he's the weight of the world is being lifted off his shoulders. He shows more emotion now than he normally has, like he did after that Texas A&M game. And then the way he's carrying himself, even in the press conferences, where he'll come into the press conference and say, "Hey, how's everybody? Everybody good? You jacked up or whatever, that kind of stuff." And it's like, it's nice to see because the poor man was just under this amazing stress last year, and every time he came to the podium, you can tell, dude, that it was affecting him. That's the other thing you notice, that there's a different human being at that podium leading this team too, because there's less weight on those shoulders.
Well, the roster finally looks a lot like how he wanted to look. But I will say this, Mario is not a guy who gets to enjoy life much at all, right? Like he's always sort of in fact, he said it yesterday at the press conference, PB and J and back on the road recruiting tomorrow. Like he it's like the job never ends for him. And look, they got some big recruits this week following the Texas A&M win. And he's not like, oh, okay, we've made it. And I think that's the difference. I think we've had other coaches around here get to a certain point where they have a little bit of success and they're like, okay, this thing's going to take off. Mario's not going to stop until he's holding a national championship trophy. That's just the way he is. Like that's what this is about. Yeah, like for him, it's dominate. It's just be the best team in college football. And so until he gets there, he's not going to rest.
Dude, he knows that if he's going to beat Georgia, he needs a 5-star starting, a 5-star backing him up, and a 4-star in the third string. That's why he knows he can't stop recruiting, because he has to keep loading that roster up. Right. And so he's crossing now the first threshold, that now he's selling to people. The program's on the rise now. We're now starting to win. The next step is obviously getting guys drafted and all those kind of things, and winning bowl games, things that the University of Miami doesn't do, and getting ranked, things that the University of Miami doesn't do. All of those kind of things. That's why these recruits are going to land, because all that kind of stuff wasn't happening here anymore. No. And it's just nice to see that a couple of those steps are now finally being crossed a year later after he took over, because, you had your people that were pretty much questioning all of this.
And that's why I think ultimately, you and I know this obviously because we know Mario, but having the experience of being in a championship program, right? Not just as a player, but later as a coach at Alabama, to be successful as a head coach on his own at Oregon. All of those things mattered. When Miami was hiring guys who had never been head coaches before, the Manny Diaz's of the world, the Randy Shannons of the world, the Larry Cokers, sort of just the recycling of guys that were already here, you weren't getting the hunger, the fire, the guy who, to me, in my mind, knew everything he needed to know about how to build a winner,
right?
And then could deliver and get those guys to play at a level higher than they could. And I think Mario is the kind of coach who brings that out in his guys, and he's relentless. And I think that pours over on the entire roster. And again, I'm not here to crap on all the former Miami coaches. They had different sort of support systems than Mario does. But I think it's sort of the perfect marriage at the perfect time. Miami knows that they need their football program to thrive. They know they need their medical program to thrive. They need their academic system to thrive. And so the leadership at the University of Miami recognized they'd failed football, and they've put in the kind of resources that need to be put in to get the program where it needs to be. And that, with
dude,
Mario,
when there weren't money, when they didn't
Yeah.
have money, you hired a Jimmy Johnson that was a head coach at Oklahoma State, and you hired a Dennis Erickson that was the head coach at Washington State. And so you kept having success because you also kept hiring what you had always been talking about for years. You gotta hire somebody that has built a program, that has coached, that knows what they're doing. They keep hiring guys that have never been head coaches, never had any experience, and that's why they are going to keep failing more often than not. Once in a blue moon, you're going to hit a home run. You're going to get the guy that's never been hired as a head coach, and he takes off, and that's fantastic. But they kept missing. But if you just go back to their history, they went and got guys that were already head coaches, and that was way ahead of what they were doing the last 20 years. It's crazy. Up until Mark Richt. And, for Mark, okay, that was a whole different case there, with Mark, obviously. But up until Mark Richt, the hiring practices just made no sense.
No, and they didn't really back, those head coaches with much support in terms of coordinators and assistants. They weren't spending any money on those guys. And so, look, the bottom line is they got it right now, right? After 20 years of this, and it's obvious how important a head coach is to a program's success. Just look across college football. Deion Sanders clearly knows what he's doing, right? He went to Jackson State and had success in ways other guys didn't. He's gone to Colorado. He's got that program off and running. He's a winner. He's a national, guy who has won Super Bowls, is a Hall of Famer. They got the right mindset. And I think ultimately in college football here, that's the teams that ultimately make it, dude. They don't have bad coaches. It's not like they're a bad head coach is taking over the program and they recruit well in spite of him, or or the players overcome his terrible decisions. That doesn't happen. So Miami fans ought to be happy that they got Mario Cristobal, and you and I knew this, so this was the right guy for the job.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt about that. Oh, by the way, if you're Jay Norvell, why poke?
Yeah.
Why, bro?
Listen, he's 60 years old. Jay's 60 years old already. He's kind of at the end of his, it's kind of like
he doesn't look 60 on that video.
He is 60. He is 60. Jay Norvell, I looked this up last night. I'm like, he sounds like a little cranky old man, just a little bit. And then I looked up his age and I said, well, maybe he is. He's kind of up there in age.
Did he look 60 to you? I didn't think that guy was 60.
Yeah, he's 60 years old, and so he's got to bring some spice to this game a little bit for his school. Colorado State's 0-1. They haven't really had much going for them, right? So poke the bear. I mean, listen, his team's they're gonna get their ass kicked no matter what. So
but now they're gonna really get their asses kicked. Come on, dude. Seriously, like the coach's son is the quarterback. Like he looks like the most accurate quarterback in college football right now. You're going to play against Travis Hunter? Do you really want to do this?
Yeah.
Do you really want to do
street
this?
Cred, man. Street cred. Listen, he's hoping that they show up. Think about this. If they actually back it up and keep the game close or pull off the upset, what kind of street cred is Jay Norvell going to have, right? Taking down Deion.
I got to tell you, he really doesn't look like a 60-year-old man, dude. I got to tell you. I really, wow, he's 60. I mean, look, I get it, dude. The problem with people is, and I was just talking with Jeffrey Tarabolis about this, there's no right way to do things. Dick Vermeil cried his way to a title. Tony Dungy and Tom Flores were cigar store mannequins. They said nothing on the sidelines. Tom Flores for the Raiders and won 2 Super Bowls. And Tony Dungy, great coaches, never had any emotion on the sidelines. Don Shula just had a chin and just looked at you really pissed off. John Madden, John Gruden were hands flailing everywhere. And what the hell is going on? No right way to do things. Deion Sanders does it with brashness because he's done that everywhere he's been his entire career as a player and everything. Mario Cristobal, traditional. Did not blow up the entire team the first year. He said, let me see what I got this first year. And then he weeded out the junk.
where
Right.
Deion said, these guys are all junk. Let me go get what I want right now. You know what I mean?
He took over a 1-win team. It's a little different than Mario. Mario stepped into what, 7-5?
Okay, but my point is, Deion still does it with color.
Yeah.
This guy does it with the lunch pail. It's completely different the way they go about it, but there's no right way and there's no wrong way if you know how to get results. You know what I mean? And that's kind of that's why this Jay Norvell guy, it probably bothers him that Deion has glasses on and all that other crap. But dude, it's Deion Sanders. That he's a star. You're not, Jay. He's been a star since he was a teenager. You've never been a star, Jay. You have no idea what it's like to be a star. Deion Sanders has been a star his entire life. He has lived with pressure, so he eats it up like it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's a different type of dude, bro. And that's where Jay Norvell, big mistake, bro.
3-10 as the coach at Colorado State. So that's his record there. I had better success at Nevada. Look, man,
Bring back Sonny Lubick.
Yeah, it's hard to win at places like Colorado State, dude. I mean, listen, Colorado was pretty terrible last year. There's just, you got to be able to recruit, and that's why guys with characters like Deion are perfect for places like that. Unfortunately, there's just not enough of them. That's why a guy like Ed Reed, like, think about Ed Reed, right? He was supposed to be coaching against Miami last night at Bethune-Cookman. I mean, how many other schools now that see the Deion example are going to say, yeah, we probably need to go get a guy that has a little bit of pizzazz, a little bit of passion to bring some life to our program? Because look how many programs across college football are just bad for a long time.
Yeah, but the people at Bethune-Cookman have to also do their part too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, of course.
Where he goes there and gives them the honest, like, yo, you guys aren't, this is why you don't win. You got to do this, this, and this. And if you're not willing to do it, see, the difference is, and maybe, I don't know if Ed has the same juice because Deion is, they don't make him like that. But Deion can, like, change shit on his own. Okay, even if the school can't fiscally, he'll go find the sponsors and he'll get it done. And
that's true.
And that's the thing about Deion, bro. He's just a different type of individual. These kind of people they're not normal. They're superhuman. These kind of people that they can do things that most of us can't. They can reach people that most of us can't, and people gravitate to them like no one else. And that's the magic of being Deion Sanders, bro. That's just it.
It's fun to watch though. And I was laughing. I was laughing when people were like, he's only going to win 3 games this year. I'm like, you do realize what conference he's playing in, right? Like that, you can go in there and win some games in that conference. So,
and dude, he does what McDaniel does with men.
Yeah.
He connects with them. And so when you see him, like in that argument, I remember, and I was going, man, he is winning so many people over with this, because he was like, you all go after these kids because they're chasing a bag, but meanwhile, I'm chasing a bag. The other coaches are chasing bags, but we're going to get mad at these kids for chasing bags,
right?
And so now that endears him right away to kids all over the country and their parents and siblings. Or they're not the parents. What's the other word? If it's not a parent, it's a guardians. Yeah, because not all of them are parents. And so those guardians and those parents are saying, okay, see, this is a guy looking out also for the young men, not just for himself. And that's what that sport has been littered with. People that are just, and organizations and programs that are just looking out for themselves and not the kids. Here's a guy that gets it, because he's been that. And his son is making, I think, close to $4 million in NIL this year. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's why Caleb Williams' dad said, well, if we don't like the team that drafts him this year, we're going to go back to college and go to the draft next year. Why? Because Caleb Williams is making millions of dollars. He can hold off for a year if he wants to and have the choice that he wants. And to me, that's why Deion Sanders was going to succeed, because he can communicate with these kids. And I see it with Mike McDaniel. He just knows how to reach men. And I think it's so important. If you're going to get the max out of them, you better be able to communicate with them.
Yeah. And to your point, I mean, and I've spoken to people that have been close to him, that grew up with him. they brought this up. The fact that he's coached his sons now for over a decade. I mean, just being around so many other players their age for the last 10, 15 years, he can communicate with them and they like him. Like, it's just, besides the fact that he's Deion and Prime and the whole thing, he just knows how to speak to them. And I feel like so many coaches nowadays are disconnected from the players that they recruit. They're in a different profession and different, lifestyle every single day. And even though they're coaching these guys in college, it's different when you got to go into the home of a high school athlete and be able to relate to them because they're younger, their parents are, have certain expectations. Deion's lived this for the last 10 to 15 years. So he's got an advantage I think other coaches don't.
And I think that Deion and Mario do the same thing. It's just in different ways. I think they walk into rooms and houses and all that, and they prove to the parents and the kids that they actually give a shit about them.
Right.
And they're actually going to look out for what's best for them. Now, Mario's going to do it in a traditional way.
Right.
And then Deion's going to do it in his way, but it is still going to be the same exact thing. It's still love. It's still brutal honesty, which is what both of them actually live on, brutal honesty. And then they accept that and they appreciate it. Usually athletes are pretty good about honesty, actually. They're good about that, even if it's negative, because deep down inside, they know exactly what they're telling them is true. You know what I mean? It's when you're lying to them, when you're telling them one thing and you do something else and all that other stuff. That's where it crosses. But really, if you look at it, it's just the way they do things, but it's really kind of the same thing what Mario and Deion are doing.
Yeah, they're good at what they do, and that's why I think both of them are going to have tremendous years this year, and hopefully futures as well. I'd love to see Deion stay there at Colorado for the next few years, and they're going to the Big 12 next year. And that's listen, man. College football needs different blood, man. It really does, and these are two guys that you hope and even the coach up at Florida State, Mike Norvell, who just knows how to work the transfer portal. He's really good at it. Like, this is what college football needs. They need some different teams to be competing for championships.
Yeah. Plus, we need to get back to Miami, Florida State meaning something and having some fun. Those two teams with everything on the line. Those were the days, dude. All right, what do you got going on this weekend in the Athletic? Now that you got it off, you slacker.
Well, I'll be sitting at home watching some games this weekend and still working from home in front of the computer. I'm in charge of the Florida State BC game, so anything happens there, I'll be writing about it. But listen, it's nice to have a little bit of a weekend off. I'm gonna go play some pickleball, hopefully on Sunday morning. Get some exercise in. I try to do that 2 or 3 times a week. And then are you
going to an indoor place or an outdoor?
No, outdoor, brother. Outdoor. I'm old school, man. You got to get the sweat in. You got to earn that sweat.
I haven't done the pickleball thing yet, so
it's a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun when you got a good partner, doubles partner and stuff. It's good exercise. You sweat out there for 2 or 3 hours, and burning up to 2,000 calories while you're out there, man.
Okay, all right, good stuff. Good for you, bro. Much more calories burning than I am, boy. That's for sure. I may burn like 2 calories this weekend on the couch. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. And more importantly, subscribe to The Athletic like I do and support Manny and all the terrific writers and all the great content that comes out of The Athletic. Manny, as always, thank you, my friend. We will see you next Tuesday as we get ready for, what is it? The Temple.
Temple, yeah. First road trip of the season. Yep.
You got it. Be good, my
brother. Right, brother. Take care.
And don't forget, visit our friends at Caneswear in Davie. And if you go to caneswear.com and you order over $99, you'll get free shipping. And remember, whether you go there live in person or you go online, use our code BIGO10 so you can get 10% off. I never mentioned that. I should always mention that. BIGO10 to get 10% off at Caneswear, baby. Get your Canes gear. Get your Dolphins gear, get your Marlins gear, get your Panthers gear, get your Inter Miami gear. Caneswear.com.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CFs, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Cosa Nostra says
He wants me. He goes, Big O, I got a huge favor suggestion for you. Get Tua to do an interview here at Dolphins Nation headquarters. So I told him, no problem, right away. We'll get Tua on. I mean, like right away.
I already reached out to him.
You reached out?
Reached out to him. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I got his number right here on speed dial. We're good.
Exactly.
Luckily, it's number one on the pre.
He should do an interview on our platform. Really, he should. You know what I'm saying? There's no platform that gives him more love and support than this platform right here. So, we have been with him from day one. All right. Defending we've been the best left tackle he has had in South Florida. I think in the National League, period. In the entire United States. So, and the Hawaiian Islands, by the way. Okay. But it is what it is. I'm looking at my shot. I didn't realize the hat really goes with this shirt well, man. It's actually a good combo. Yeah, Colorado Buffaloes hat, yes. Didn't realize that, but that's true. I really like this Hall of Fame hat. When I saw it at the thing, I go, I gotta have this. The color combination was so good. And I'm looking at it with the Simple Mind shirt. It actually goes well. It's actually a good combo. Not bad. Not bad. I figured it was a black shirt, so, the black stuff into it. But then when I look at this color and this color, not exact, but close enough. What can I tell you? Close enough. Let's get into our 3A Graphics sports calendar. And, of course, we love 3A Graphics. Alan Blanco, listen, man, your business, looking for custom printing and embroidery, whether it's your business, your softball league, your fantasy football league, your school, whatever it is, man, reach out to the great people at 3A Graphics. They're in Hialeah, 980 West 22nd Street in Hialeah. They got a big old factory warehouse there. And, of course, just call them, 786-251-3404. Custom printing and embroidery. Canes defeated Bethune-Cookman 48-7 to improve to 3-0. Van Dyke had 247 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Mr. Restrepo also had 120 yards through the air on 6 receptions. Next Saturday, they will take on Temple on the road at 3:30. Hopefully, they will go 4-0. They will then take on Georgia Tech. And then the big game, their next big game will be against North Carolina on the road October 14th. And we'll see what kind of progress they have made there when they get to North Carolina. Brewers defeated the Marlins, unfortunately, yesterday 4-2. Yuri Perez takes the loss, 4 2/3 innings, gives up 5 hits, 3 earned runs, and 7 Ks. Tonight they start a set against the best team in all of baseball, not just the National League, all of baseball, the Atlanta Braves. They've got the best record. Bryce Elder on the mound, towing that slab. He is 12-4 with a 3.38 ERA. Old-ass Johnny Cueto is 1-4 with a 6.15 ERA. That's what you put out on the mound to try to get yourself into the playoffs. Anyway, Saturday, Atlanta United is hosting your Inter Miami CF squad at 5 o'clock. And then on Sunday at 8:20, the Dolphins are visiting the Patriots. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. All right. What else do we have? Dímelo, happy Freaky Friday, says Emilio. Dolphins getting ready for the Spotlight primetime Sunday night. We're about to make clam chowder in Beantown, baby, with those New England clams. Dale, go pack the car. Park the car. I like it. Big O, it's my birthday today. Paul in Connecticut, happy birthday to you, sir. Well deserved. May you be celebrating another 100 of these. The Maui Goa brothers, or Maui Noah, right? That's how it's pronounced, Maui Noah, even though it's not spelled that way, are beastesses. Gordon says, just don't beat Notre Dame 58-0 or the national media haters will come out of the woodwork. There you go. What else? When I was at the scrimmage at Joe Robbie Stadium on August 5th, our Tua was the only one who spent over 30 minutes signing stuff for Dolphins. Yeah, Tua's money, bro. Tua's just a stud, bro. He is an awesome human being and a phenomenal quarterback. But if anyone can do it, I'm sure Big O can. I haven't really tried hard enough because since, I'm not tied to the NFL, I'm not tied to the team or anything, and I don't know how they'll even, it's, I mean, out of everything, if the organization knows me well, okay, so they know that I would handle Tua with kid gloves because I believe in the dude anyway. So, But what can I tell you? Krillian says, How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb is my favorite U2 album. People still rave about that tour up here in Northern Virginia. That is such a great album, How to Dismantle. And let me tell you something. No Line on the Horizon is a phenomenal album. But I'm with you. I love The Innocents, whatever, these two albums. What is it? I forgot how it is. The Innocence thing and whatever. I forgot the labels of them, but those last two albums, oh my God, dude, so many good songs in there. So yeah, I'm with you. I love all their music. Okay, and to me, all of the albums lately have been absolutely phenomenal. And How to Build an Atomic Bomb is a great album. Great album. I agree with you, 100%. I'd tear an ACL if I start playing pickleball. Let's see. Oh, checking himself out. Well, not checking myself out, but the hat and the shirt kind of match. The face in between doesn't fly, but the shirt and the hat match, actually. I got to say. Big O, how much yard you think Tua's going to throw for on Sunday night? I think he's going to throw for 320 yards. Okay? That's what I'm going to do. By the way, I lost yesterday. I gave the damn 6.5. Sucks, bro. I thought I had that game. And they ended up winning by those bastards in Vegas. They know a little something. Must be a reason why they keep building palaces in that place.
You haven't seen the commercials? They write the season.
Yeah.
They know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
The script's already done.
Yes. They definitely do. Right. Innocence of experience of innocence, or whatever. I don't know. Something like that. Thank you, Pat. But yeah, it's so many. Cedarwood Road. Oh, that is such a great song. I love that song. Oh, Dolphins schedule not looking so bad. I don't play the schedule thing, bro. I play the Dolphins. And the Dolphins are a hell of a team. And that's why I have them winning at least 12 games and going 12-5 and winning the division and getting to the Super Bowl. And I said that before. All of this injury and all of this crap that went on with the Dolphins. So the schedule thing is hard to play. I don't like playing the schedule game because a lot of times teams can be worse than what you thought they were going to be or way better than what you thought they were going to be. And we all make those mistakes. And so that's why I don't like playing the schedule game about this team or that team, because you don't know what they're going to be and what you're going to be that moment and that week, because you may have injuries, they may have injuries, things that alter the way that game is played, or a major injury that just alters your entire season, i.e. New York Jets. So Yeah. How about Flo's defense yesterday? It's fantastic. They gave up 259 yards on the ground. In fact, I think DeAndre Swift just scored another touchdown. Man had 175 yards. Who started DeAndre Swift yesterday in their fantasy team? Good for you. That is awesome. I was laughing my ass off. I mean, listen, the Vikings did their own, damage by fumbling, 800 times. That didn't help out, but still, I saw them run all over Brian Flores over and over and over and over again. And to me, that was satisfactory. Every single yard and every single carry was so satisfactory yesterday against the Vikings. I loved it. I loved every moment of it. That was fantastic. 259 yards. The Vikings rushed for 28 yards. And Alexander Madison, that poor kid, did you see the DMs he got? Disgusting. N-word and C-word and, all that kind of stuff. Hang on to the ball and everything. And, it's the Vikings. I got to tell you something. Even with the turnovers, they still put up a decent fight. The Eagles, it's weird because you're watching the broadcast, right? And here's where the double standard comes in. So the Eagles aren't necessarily, looking smooth. They didn't look smooth last week or this week either. And so here are the announcers going, well, they're still trying to find their identity. They're still trying to find their groove or some word. I forgot which is the word they used. And I'm thinking, I'm going, didn't they go to the Super Bowl? Isn't their identity established already? So what happens if that was the Dolphins? Oh, Tua's playing terrible, and they look horrible as an offense. Not they're trying to find their identity. I love that. And one thing I will tell you about Jalen Hurts, okay, he has improved his passing. He ain't the passer at Tua is. Not even close. In fact, Jalen Hurts could not do what Tua did on Sunday, where it's just no running and it's bam, 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 bam all over. No, there's no way he could do that. He's not that kind of passer. That's one thing that came to my mind when I was watching. I was going, okay, and you're still talking, and AJ Brown is complaining, and you're winning. Yeah, he pulled the Stephon Diggs. I can't stand that, to be quite honest. If I'm the head coach, if I'm the quarterback, if I'm the general manager, let me just tell you, just like the way I okay. If I was a teammate, and I don't care if I'm just a role player or I'm a star or whatever, but if you're winning and you're complaining, I'm calling you out. If I'm the head coach, I'm looking at AJ Brown going, hey, man, we won the game, and you're worried about you getting the ball? Get the hell out of my face. You'll get the ball when you're called upon. Shut the hell up. We're about winning. It's about a team, not about AJ Brown. Now get out of my face. That's what somebody needs to tell AJ Brown, because that's the only way somebody like that will understand. Because he wants to intimidate you into forcing something. That's not how the game is played. And if Tyreek did it, or Waddle did it, or anybody else do it on this team, I'm going to rip them a hole, a new one. You won, dude. Shut up. Shut the hell up. You walked away. You didn't talk to the media, nothing, because you're a petulant little child, because you need the ball in your hands, because it's not a win if you didn't get stats. That's horseshit, dude. Absolute horseshit. what A.J. Brown did yesterday. That's a complete punk-ass move on A.J. Brown's part. Guy's a hell of a player, but you won, dude. So Devonta Smith had the hell of a game. So what? You're going to get your chances. There's 17 games. There's the playoffs. The Eagles shouldn't make the playoffs. Hell, they might make a Super Bowl. I've got them losing to the Dolphins. That was bogus yesterday, dude, by AJ. That was disgusting. You won, bro. You're not entitled to complain. You controlled that game. That game was never in doubt. That was the other thing about that game. It looked like it was, I know it got tighter as a score, but, didn't look like at any point they were going to win.
Gordon Shumway came in the chats. That's what I was waiting for you to finish. Like, Joe was telling a story because they were talking about this morning on my drive in about Duriel Wright.
Oh yeah, he's told this story like 8 times.
Okay,
over the years.
Yeah.
That Duriel complained about the fat man and all that stuff, right?
And then Shulo just for 30 minutes in the on the projector,
right? Yeah, because he does it publicly,
back and forth. Yeah.
Which
is something these days that probably missing a little bit on the old school as far as because again the Eagles have Sirianni, right?
Yeah,
Nick
Nick
Sirianni, a newer, younger coach. It's not like one of,
but he's a fiery dude.
He is, but I don't think any of the younger coaches are those guys that are going to get
rip ass. No.
Yeah,
no.
Like they might throw a schneid maybe comment or something, but it's like because even Jalen Hurts afterwards was like, oh, nothing. It's just everybody wants the ball. Everybody wants the ball and wants to.
Yeah, Jalen's not going to do that. He's too nice. He's too nice. Jalen's too much of a decent dude. You need a like an Aaron Rodgers might have a comeback for AJ Brown, something like that. You're going to need somebody that's a little bit more of a smartass, and oh, by the way, I would love AJ Brown in the huddle with Marino. Did he say that? Did Joe talk about that?
I mean, I believe he went around. He's like, he wouldn't do that if Marino wouldn't let that slide. Like he was just talking about guys.
Yeah,
kind of like what
Joe didn't play with Marino.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying, but he wouldn't. Those type of quarterbacks will not let it slide.
Oh, no,
you're going to do that to just.
Yeah. Marino would have told AJ Brown to go shut the F up. Right there in the huddle, anywhere, whatever. He wouldn't do it publicly. Like in the media publicly, not on the field. He'll rip your ass. It is public, but you don't know what he said because he's just screaming, or whatever, So we really never know what he says when he's ripping it. But when Marino was pissed at somebody. But I would love a quarterback like Marino with AJ Brown complaining. Marino would have straightened his ass out right away. So that would have been fun. But that was bullshit what he pulled yesterday. That's complete horse shit. No class whatsoever by AJ Brown. You started Swift, huh, Dizzy? Good for you, dude. Ray says, howdy, that bass line on the Simple Minds track, all the things she said. She said. I love it. You are correct. Yes. Simple Minds is so good. So good. Oh, so do you believe in the national media hate for Miami teams? No, I think it's more of a Canes thing from the past. The Big Three had some hate. I think there have been some individual cases, but I don't believe that it's a general thing for Miami teams. Put it that way. Okay? I don't think in 2003 anybody hated the Miami Marlins. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think they're hating Inter Miami right now either. Maybe some of the owners or some of the, some of the fans, but not the general media. I don't think they're hating Inter Miami. I think they're enjoying the ride. UM got some hate. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But I think it depends. It's a case-by-case basis is the way I'm going to say it. Not a general type of thing. I don't believe that. Yes, sir.
the one thing that I think is funny is like, because everybody always talks about the Miami fan bases, especially for like the crowds showing up at live events and everything else like that late and everything.
Right.
But they ultimately know that they're the fan base that if you throw shade at Tua or whatever, that they're going to get the clicks.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to get the, for everything they say that's bad about the fan base, or however you want to say it, they know that, hey, we need the clicks today. Say something bad about Tua.
Right.
Boom.
Right.
Here we come.
That is true.
And it's interesting because as I watch it more, it's like, okay, not a lot happened. I mean, now there's a lot happening, but no big news. Then all of a sudden it's a Tua story. It's a Mike McDaniel story. It's a Dolphins story. And then you get the clicks, the viewership, the however you want to look at it. But everybody will say how the fan base is whatever, but ultimately it's their go-to when they need the clicks, the likes, the whatever.
Yeah, there's no doubt that on the national level, for sure, they're milking it. And they know that because the Tuanon is very strong. So they know the Tuanon. Yeah, we're good. I was just fixing the strings. They got a little tightened up, so I wanted to loosen them up a little bit more. Yeah, they know that's a great point you make, that they know they can increase their views and likes and or hates or traffic just by going opposite of Tua, because they know that the Tuanon is going to respond in a big time way. Yeah, there's no doubt. But I don't think that the hate for Miami teams is in general. I think it's just certain things that have happened over the years, and then people pick up some kind of negativity for it. Brett Barbery's wife was hot. Damn, dude, that's a long time ago, Big Bob. Long time ago. In fact, most people have no idea who Brett Barbery is. You don't know Brett Barbery? That he was in the expansion Marlins. Yeah. He was only on the team for a couple years, but Big Bob is right. He had a smoking hot wife. Yeah. Of course I'm old enough. Yes, I've covered him. Yes. Yes. Just a couple. The first, I think, because it was 88, right? So first couple years, no, it was in 91 when I started. So it was a couple years into the Marlins. That was first year. That was the first 2 years, I think, but I didn't get to him. I didn't get to Huff. He's from my school, right? I think isn't he a high guy? I think he's a thoroughbred. I want to say Charlie Huff is a thoroughbred. Yes, Lenny, I agree. AJ acted like an immature brat. AJ was out there acting like Diggs. Yep, exactly. He is, right? Highly high, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Al Michaels really needs to retire. Last night was just awful. Oh, God. Huh?
I feel like he's just there for the check. Like, it's just like, okay, you're going to pay me. I'll show up and talk.
Right. But what do you, like, it's Al Michaels and he's almost 80.
Yeah, no, that too. But also it's like.
He's not going to be the same guy anymore, bro.
No, he's not. And that's the thing is I think you think of him as you watched him.
Over the years.
Grew up with him, you know?
Right,
I mean, he was, like everybody says, the soundtrack to.
Yeah, to a lot of our stuff. Yeah.
Now you watch him and it's like.
Do you believe in miracles?
Yep. And then also I think like with Herb Street too, though, is Herb Street breaks things down to where it's like him and Fowler have a good connection and good chemistry, but it just doesn't connect with
No. But I also think that Herb Street, since the NFL is not his game, I don't think his insight and breakdown is nearly as insightful, actually, to be quite honest. I think it's more about the name to have there in the booth than anything else. I would have gotten an NFL guy next to Al Michaels. That's probably what I would have done, but whatever, a Greg Olson type or something like that. That's probably what I would have done. Get an up-and-coming young guy next to Al Michaels to bring that energy that Al obviously is not going to have at this point, which you got to figure. You know what I mean?
He gets it for like 1 or 2 calls a game. You'll hear the Al Michaels, but then everything else is kind of like, let's just get to the doubles here. Let's get to the zeros.
Check his age, bro. He's got to be close to 80, dude. I'm going to be 57 in 2 weeks. And Al Michaels has to be more than 20 years older than me. He has to be more than 77. So think about that. You know what I'm saying? You know, I know in 20 years, there's no way I could have the energy to do the things I do now. You know what I mean? Hell, there are people my age that don't have the energy to do what I do now. You know what I'm saying? But it's normal. What is he?
61.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
81?
78.
Oh, he's 78. Wow.
Yeah.
So I was off by 1 year.
year.
I said he's got to be 20 years older than me. He's 78.
78,
I knew he was close to 80 already. Jesus, dude. Of course, man. That's a lot of years, man. Of course, you're not going to be trust me, folks. We're not going to be ourselves at 77. You know what I mean? The fact that he's alive and traveling and doing those games at 77, that alone in itself is an amazing feat for Al Michaels. But to ask him to be 57 and 47 again, it's probably unrealistic. So that's why, he's going to lose a little juice.
Imagine us on the podcast at 78. What'd you say? What was that?
God. Holy crap.
Is the volume working?
Isaiah says, Big O, have you ever seen Smokey and the Bandit? Anyway, I saw it as a kid. I didn't understand the humor, but now I understand the comedy, and Jackie Gleason is hilarious. Really? You didn't? Sheriff Buford T. Justice? You didn't understand all of that back in those days? Yeah, I saw it as a kid. I laughed my ass off then, and I certainly still laugh my ass off with Sheriff Buford T. Justice. You can think about it, but don't do it. I knows you're not from my loins. You have to be from your mother's. When I get home, I'm going to slap your mama in the head. I love Sheriff Buford T. Justice. That's just one of the greatest characters of all time. Mike No-Go Zones. Thank you, sir, for the love in the super chat. He says, hello, Big O. Happy Friday. Will you be doing any live broadcasts from venues this NFL season? We are looking to add more. Stay tuned, but we do have 4. The first one is coming up in 2 weeks, and it'll be against the Denver Broncos. Okay? So September 24th against Denver, we will be at Walk-Ons in Kendall on 162nd, I believe, and Kendall Drive. Then October 29th against New England, 1 o'clock. We'll be there again at Walk-Ons in Kendall. November 19th against the Raiders, 1 o'clock. And Baltimore on December 31st at 1 o'clock. Those are the 4 games that we're doing so far. We are still working on possibly adding another sponsor for the other dates. So we are working on all of that. But those are the first 4 that we have right now for this season, 1 a month. 1 in September, October, November, and December. So, Mike, I hope to see you there, my brother. As always, thank you for supporting the hell out of the show, as you always have. And we appreciate it immensely, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you should support his channel, too, Mike No-Go Zones, because that crazy sumbitch goes everywhere and anywhere, okay? Mike has bigger balls than most of us, just so you'll know. You think you got big balls? Mike's got big balls, okay? He's got ginormous balls that don't fit in Lincoln Financial Center yesterday, okay? Or Field, right? Field? There you go, all right? That's the kind of cojones that guy has. So go check out Mike No Go Zones on YouTube. See that logo on there? That's the same logo you'll see on his YouTube. So if you don't see that logo, it's not Mike No Go Zones. But I'm telling you, it's pretty cool stuff. Check it out. Knight, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, I need more Kevin Harlan for Dolphins games. Not bad. Yes, exactly. Kevin Harlan needs to call all Dolphins games for the rest of the season, please, and thank you. He knew the difference between a blue line and a red line. Big O, you are a fan of Kevin Harlan. He called the Baltimore game last year and the Chargers game last week. He brings so much more energy to the games. Well, he's 30 years younger than Al Michaels. You know what I'm saying? So he should bring more energy. You guys got to give Al Michaels a break there, bro. He's old, man. He's 53, 63. Kevin Harlan. Wow, that's pretty good energy for 63, bro. Good for him. Good for him. There you go. That's impressive.
I was with you. That's why I looked it up, because I was like, let me see how young he is. And 63.
Shocker. I didn't know he was that old. Yeah. That's pretty impressive, bro. Pretty impressive. But maybe, with broadcasters, kind of like what they have to do with the government, like, 2 terms and you're done. And that's it, That way we don't keep like Feinstein there until she's like 98 years old and she can't even, that kind of stuff. So, yeah. I don't like to hold age against anybody, but there's going to get a point where the age is going to get in the way and you can't do the job the same way. So it's up to you if you want to keep, bringing Al Michaels along. You could go ahead, but you're not getting the energy that you need for the games. You know what I'm saying? So, but it is a name. Nico says, just dropping in to say hi. Enjoy the weekend and hit the like button, folks. There you go. Watch hours. Remember, watch hours is what we need. Very important. Watch hours. Let me see. Send, yeah, I did. Here, use that email. Send it to Antoine because he says he didn't get it, but send him the link there again. We're going to get Antoine Staley on. Okay. Let's see. His channel is linked on your channel under the channels and tab. Yes, it is. Of course, because I follow Mike. Mike's a friend of mine, bro. You got it? Okay. Martin says, Big O, Colin. Oh, God. Cowturd said Tua had to drop 400 yards against New England to really show him something. Bro, Martin, you're the problem, bro. You're the guy listening to Colin Cowturd, bro. That's your problem. You listen to lazy hosts, Al Michaels is good in my book. I know he's not prime anymore, but he's the voice of Sunday Night Football of my lifetime, so it's nostalgic for me. I don't hate it. That's fine. But I get it when people want a little bit more out of their announcer, and I understand. But I also understand that man, he's 80, so so it is what it is. What are you going to do? What's going on in the market, by the way? Let's see. All right, Bitcoin's still over 26,000. Do we get another good day in the stock market? No, damn it. The Dow is down 144 points. That sucks. S&P's down 37 points, and the NASDAQ's barely down. It's a tenth of a point, man. So it's not even anything big. Dolphins favored by 3, over and unders 46.5. Moneyline Dolphins minus 155, Patriots plus 130. Dan Marino celebrating his 61st birthday today. Good old Danny boy. How about that? 61 years old, man. That is absolutely amazing. Got it. Awesome, man. It is so good to see Dan hanging around the team, and on top of all of that, he communicates with, the players and is in quarterback meetings and things like that. That's really, really cool. All right, let's talk a little Jets football with my guy Antoine Staley, who of course is a reporter and columnist for the New York Daily News. How you doing, my man? How you feeling?
I'm good. Long time. It's good to be with you again.
It's good to have you on, man. I haven't seen you in a while, bro. I'm used to catch you every once in a while in the Dolphins press box now. So you missed the warm weather?
Not so much right now, but I will about December. I will, but then again, I'll be down there for the Dolphins Jets game in December. So
okay, all right, good. That's good, man. I would imagine that the Jets world is upside down. Antoine, injuries, even if it's the Jets or the Bills or the Patriots, I don't wish injuries on anybody, and I don't laugh about or make jokes about or anything like that. But the part that I do make a joke about, and it's not hindsight, because I was calling him Calf Rogers of the 21st century. I grew up with a show called Buck Rogers of the 25th century. So I call him Calf Rogers because I knew he already had the bad calf going in. I know he injured the good calf in the preseason, but my bigger sticking point is it was so Colts that they got Andrew Luck and never built a line in front of him. You went and got a 40-year-old quarterback, and you have one of the worst offensive lines in all of football. And to me, that's the part that stood out to me about what the Jets did, that the plan that they put forth had so many problems with it that I wasn't surprised. And sure, I sat there before the game started the other night, and I looked at my wife and I go, this is going to be interesting watching Aaron Rodgers run for his life on a consistent basis, because that's a really bad line. And I know that there are offensive line issues all over the place, but the Jets have a really bad line. And sure enough, dude, he ran for his life and unfortunately then, blew out the Achilles. To me, that was my problem. How did they think that this plan was going to work out?
They thought that, getting Dwayne Brown back and healthy, coming off of double shoulder surgery, basically, and Mekhi Becton being, healthy, like that would be the answer. But clearly it's not. I mean, Dwayne Brown is still, he's not what he once was. He once was a, Pro Bowl type, All Pro tackle. But I mean, he's 38. He's 38 himself. Like, so yeah, you're relying on the guy that's 38 years old to try to protect a 40-year-old quarterback. Lincoln Thomas said that the whole side has been a bit of a disaster there. Connor McGovern he is what he is. He's average. He's not bad, but I think Elijah Vera Tucker is their best.
Oh, he's a stud.
Player. Yeah, he's their best player. But despite that, like, even if you have one great player on the offensive line, the rest of the four guys are bad, then that's going to stand out. And I think you kind of saw that on Monday night. And then also, this Big O, the Bills defense is legit. I mean, they got some dogs on that defense there. So, you add all that up too, and they were in without Von Miller. You add all that up, and that's what happens. And now the Jets are going to face another tough defense this upcoming week in the Cowboys, who registered 7 sacks against Daniel Jones, the Giants. So it's not going to get any easier, despite having Zach Wilson there and and everything like that. So it's going to be much harder. And then you got the Patriots after that, who also have a really good defense as well.
Oh, God. Zach Wilson is going to go through hell in the next 2 weeks facing those defenses. I'm afraid that he's going to make a crap ton of
And then the Chiefs after that. Then you got the Chiefs after that. And then
and Chris Jones is back.
Yeah, exactly. So it does not get any easier until the bye week. And then the Eagles, and it's a tough schedule.
Yeah. Oh, my God. And, okay, so walk me through this. So now Aaron talks about returning, and are they locked in salary-wise that they have to bring him back, or they can't part ways? Because I saw those cap numbers, and the third year was $51 million in dead money.
Yes.
So I'm like, what the hell is this? Because again, if it was a bad plan this year, how does the plan become any better next year when it's a 40-year-old quarterback coming back from an Achilles surgery? You've got a lot of salaries you're tied to already. You need to build up a line. And what are you going to do? You're going to go out and buy linemen? Well, guess what? Those things aren't really ever available anymore when it comes to linemen. There aren't even a lot of good linemen left in the damn league.
No.
So if it wasn't a good idea this year, why would they try to go back to it next year?
Well, you're tied in salary cap wise. He's owed like 2 years for $75 million. All of that's guaranteed money. And then if you look at the contract and the way it's structured, it's really like a 5-year deal. But you look at what Tampa Bay did after Tom Brady left, and then a salary cap hell that they're facing. That's kind of what's going to be down the line for the Jets too. I mean, they're going for it now. They don't care about 2026 or anything like that. People's jobs are on the line like the next couple of years. Robert Saleh, Joe Douglas, they understand what the situation is. That's why they went out and got a guy like Aaron Rodgers to help try to save their butts, really. I mean, we're talking about a team that was 7-4 last year, had an opportunity to make the playoffs, and then all of a sudden they just crapped the bed at the end of the year, losing 6 straight games. I know injuries happen, but injuries happen to all teams. Like, I mean, you can't really use that as a crutch and an excuse when, the Dolphins had injuries, the Bills had injuries. Like, everybody has injuries. Like, you just
but once your quarterback goes down, that's
and the Dolphins still found a way to make the playoffs. Despite
I know, but I mean, in their case, they don't even have, once you lose Rodgers.
Well, this situation, but still,
they have the excuse. They have the excuse this year.
Yeah, sure. They might get a mulligan because of that. Possibly, but also like they still believe they have a team that could make the play. I do not personally. I think their defense is lights out and legit, but eventually, like they dam is gonna break. Like you can't just keep relying on your defense.
And the defense will wear out.
That's what happened last year.
Antoine, you're covering the Dolphins all over again, bro.
I know.
That's it. The gritty blue-collar team that has a tough defense, a little bit of a running game, and
no
then
offensive line.
Everything to fall into place for them to win a game. You know what I mean? Dude, you're covering the Dolphins all over
I've seen this story before, and I know how it ends. And then that was the Dolphins. They had no offensive line. They expected to cover, protect Ryan Tannehill. And they could, it's the same thing that I covered, it's 2016, 17, 18. Yeah, it's the exact same story. But yet the people, the fans think the Jets still have an opportunity to make the playoffs. I think they're a 7 or 8 win team, possibly. Right. I think that's probably their ceiling, especially considering how the defense is.
Yeah, and here's the other thing, and this is why Philadelphia is such monsters. They draft linemen every year, and the Jets, the last couple of years, they've done a great job of building up that D line, and the backups are excellent too. But maybe you should have been drafting offensive linemen with those picks too, So that's
they wanted to. They wanted to, but Bill Belichick kind of screwed them on that when trading the pick, and then the Steelers took Roger Jones. That's who they wanted to take in the first round, because initially they were the 13th pick, and then after the Rodgers trade, they moved from 13th to 15th, and then New England was sitting there at 14. It's like, oh well, let's figure out a way to screw the Jets. And then that's exactly what happened.
But you got to have backup. You got to find lines, man. I just didn't. I don't know how this makes any sense. I don't know how you. I get it. You're screwed. You have to bring them back. But brother, if you don't bring back an offensive line, Aaron Rodgers is coming back just for hell.
Yeah,
basically, it's just going to be. He's going to be running for his. Zach is going to be running for his life now in the next couple of weeks.
Yes, he is. And he's athletic, but still, we saw that a little bit last year too. It doesn't matter who you put back there. And then, as injuries are going to happen to the line too. You better hope Elijah Vera Tucker can stay healthy the whole year. Because if he's gone, then I think we kind of saw last year, it just crumbled completely for that offense. Once him and Brees went down in the same game, it was definitely a wrap there for the Jets. They only won 2 games after that.
So who was your prediction for the division?
It was the Jets, but I thought Miami had an opportunity to win the division. I really did.
Now?
Definitely the Dolphins. Okay. There's no question. It's just obviously Tua is the big question, not necessarily his play, but his health.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, when he plays,
you got to be out of your mind at this point
to be questioning his ability already at this
I
point.
mean, you still got those people out there.
I know you've got those idiots out there, but I mean, come on, dude. Come on, bro. Come on. The guy already proves that he can play. His whole deal, and it's been his whole deal, his whole career.
Right.
Can he stay healthy? And that's it. And let me tell you something. If he does what he did this week, where he got rid of the ball and stop hanging, because I've done it on this show. All his injuries, the hip, the 2 ankles, and the 2 concussions are all injuries that happen at 3.85 seconds and 5.1 seconds.
Yeah, you got to get rid of the ball.
Okay?
Got to get rid of the
You
ball.
got to get rid of the Green Bay game, which wasn't a bad tackle that normally really should have caused that kind of a concussion. That was at 5.1 seconds, bro. You can't do it.
No, you got to get rid of the ball.
You got to get rid of the ball.
Yeah,
and
I thought it was encouraging watching them last week, the offensive line, and the way that they played without Armstead. So
and he got rid of it quickly.
Exactly.
And he got rid of it quickly.
Like it was quickly. And it was like 2 seconds to it was like they designed a really good game plan, especially considering the Chargers pass rushers with Khalil Mack and also Bosa as well.
Right, exactly. So that's why, to me, if the light finally went on, and I'm going to stop playing hero ball, because I'm not built like Ben Roethlisberger or Josh Allen or Justin Herbert, that I can take some pounding. You know what I mean? So get rid of the ball, bro. That's how Drew Brees and Joe Montana and Bob Greasy and there's a whole bunch of quarterbacks that aren't big that played a long time. Why? Bro, they made a quick decision.
Yeah, even if you are big, like you can't play like daredevil football. Like you see it with Josh Allen, and then eventually it's going to catch up to you. So you got to play smart football, especially if you want to last in this league. You know that,
right? The difference is you can get away with it sometimes if you're Josh Allen or Ben Roethlisberger or whatever. But if you're Tua, there's a great chance you're not getting away with it. So don't do it, bro. Just don't do it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that to me is the key to him, is make a quick decision and get rid. You're the smart guy. You're one of those dudes. You're not the dude that needs to see the receiver make the break and then with your gun you can reach him. No, dude, you're the guy that anticipates all this shit. So you're seeing the game completely different than most quarterbacks, bro. Use that
game breakers at wide receiver. Use them.
Right.
Like, let them do the dirty work. Like, just get the ball. You don't need all this holding the ball for like you said 4 or 5 seconds. Let them do what they need to do, especially Tyreek Hill and how quickly he is. And Waddle, that's like you got 2 number ones on your team, wide receivers. People would kill to have like one of those guys. You got 2 of them.
Right.
You got 2 of those guys.
And when you have accuracy and anticipatory skills, that is deadly. Anticipatory skills are deadly because those quarterbacks that know how to throw to spots where the receiver is going to be, that is, that allows you to get away from sacks. That allows you to make so many other plays that other quarterbacks aren't going to make, because not everybody, a Cam Newton, a Ryan Tannehill, those people don't have any anticipatory skills. They rely on their athletic ability in order to throw the ball and all that. They don't throw people open. The other guys do. A Pat Mahomes can throw you open. A Tua can throw you open. Those type of dudes are the guys that throw you open. That's a whole different ball game. So
like you said, that can only get you so far, that athletic ability, especially as you get older too. But I think it's a lot of things to like about the Dolphins. I think their defense is going to get better with Vic Fangio as well. I think he's going to do a really good job. I know they gave up a ton of rushing yards, but I think they'll be fine. Like, especially they'll get better as the season goes on. Yeah,
I'm with you there. So what's going to happen at quarterback, Antoine? What are they going to do with the Jets? Are they going to bring in a veteran eventually?
Eventually, yeah. I know they tried to bring in Brett Rippon, which, I know it's not a name that people are like, it's going to, blow people away or anything like that. But
it's a cool story that they knew it and they got him off the practice squad and put him onto the active roster.
Exactly.
Who was it that did it? I forgot what.
The Rams.
The Rams, exactly. The Rams knew that they were interested, and they were like, "Hey, man, we don't have a lot of quarterbacks. Let's put them on the active roster." That was crafty on their part.
The irony of that is Mike LaFleur, he was the old offensive coordinator for the Jets, who got fired during the offseason. So he knew like what the Jets were going to do, especially the link between Nathaniel Hackett and Rippon. So that was smart on their part.
All right. So who else? Who's in the? Who are they? The Tom Brady one was funny because it's like, okay, so now you want to bring a 45-year-old man behind that line now. Oh, that's just smart. Yeah, I knew Tom wasn't going to come back, but I'm like, I hope he does come back. I would love to see that because that would be another disaster on their part. You know what I'm saying? Not that they were going to go for it, but the general public started bringing out that name because everybody brings out
He
that
didn't want to get hit last year in Tampa. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you go come back for the Jets offensive line is worse than Tampa. You go like, he probably saw that, was like, nah, I'm gonna make a business decision. I'm to stay retired. Absolutely not.
Yes.
Now, if they had a great line, then yeah, I think he would think about it, but nah. No. That's the worst situation than what Tampa was a year ago.
Yeah. So what's the other name now? What do you think?
I mean, you can look at guys like Carson Wentz too, potentially, but I don't know if that's going to be. I
don't trust that guy anymore.
Yeah.
I think he lost his mojo. I don't know what happened to him, bro. He had all the mojo in those first 2 years. He did shit that very few quarterbacks could do, and I don't know what happened to him, all those injuries or whatever, but it wussied his ass out, and he is not the same dog that he used to be. I'd rather stay with Zach and see if he can grow and figure it out.
I think that's what they want to do, but they got to get a veteran quarterback because Zach, if you look at his injury history, he's been out, he's missed 8 games over the last 2 years. So you can't necessarily rely on him to play all 16, 17 games either. So you got.
I heard Chad Henne too. That name was thrown around.
They acquired about him, and then he decided to. I think a lot of these guys that are retired, they see the situation, they're like, yeah, I think I'm going to stay retired.
Yeah, Chad's made a lot of money and Super Bowl rings, right? Because doesn't he have both with Kansas City, right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, so, bro, that guy stole some money in this league. Bro.
Hey, he lasted a lot longer than I think you and I had even thought. In this league, you can get paid. Look at Chase Daniel. Chase Daniel, he's like a robber. You talk about Chad Henne. At least Chad Henne was a legit starter at one point in time.
Right. And he's actually done some serviceable stuff as a backup. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you're right. But it is amazing. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Antoine Staley. Antoine, what are you working on so folks can check you out over at the New York Daily News, my man?
You find me previewing the Dallas Jets game over the weekend. Also talking about, Aaron Rodgers. He'll be on the Pat McAfee show later on today. So I have a piece about that, too, as well.
All right. There you go. The Jet games are now rated R, watching Zach Wilson play. Antoine, I'll see you later, my man. You be good out there.
All right, be good, my friend. Take care.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Antoine Staley, New York Daily News, covering the New York Jets. That's a crazy situation over there, man. That is a crazy situation. And Zach Wilson is just a kid that I have not seen the light go on. When I look at him, he still looks like Pat White, like John Beck. He just looks like one of those quarterbacks that it just, it's not there. It's just not there. That's all. Yes, sir. You got a mic on?
Yeah, I was waiting for you to finish your thought. I just want to make sure. Front Office Sports on Twitter.
Yes, sir.
This week, CSU coach Jay Norville said that he takes his glasses and hats off when he's talking to adults.
Mm-hmm.
Deion Sanders, he has his own line of sunglasses with blenders.
Yes.
Now giving a pair to every Colorado football player, and he says they don't realize they just help me with business. He just thinks differently.
Yeah,
thinks different.
He's at another level. Keep denying the man. Keep doubting him. Keep. And he's 63, you said, the coach? 60? How have you been around that long and watched that man since he was a child play and dominate in everything he does, succeed in everything that he does, and you're still going to doubt him? And you're now going to poke the bear too? Seriously? Is that what you're going to do? You're going to poke a Hall of Famer, a guy that knows what he's doing on the field as a coach, is like he excels at everything. You may not like the way he goes about it, and I get that, but like I told you, There's no right way to do anything as long as you're able to do it. You know, and by the way, the one thing he does mention that it's 1000%. He doesn't disrespect the opponent. He doesn't talk shit about the opponent or says, "Oh yeah, we're going in this week and we're going to kick their ass." You know, that's a terrible coach. He doesn't do any of that. Is he braggadocious about his own players and his own team? Yeah, and why shouldn't you be? But then when you start talking crap, now you opened up the door and now you gave him the opportunity to then now come back at you. But he's not looking for any trouble. That was Jay Norvell that poked the bear. Deion said nothing about him, nothing about the program. He never said anything derogatory about Colorado State. So hat and glasses may bother you, but he was still respectful to your school and to you. You're the one that chose to be an asshole. You know, that again, it's just I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I've watched the man his entire career. He doesn't fail at anything. Why would you bank against it? Doesn't make any sense. I know that we all are going to fail in things, and I'm sure he's failed in some things, but somehow or another, in all this other stuff that we watch in football or whatever, he's been very successful. And why you would want to poke the bear, it makes no sense to me at all. What that guy did, those kids are playing hard for Deion. Okay? What?
No, I was going to say, I mean, you watch him, you hear him talking. I'm sure some of the Colorado players that were there last year were like, oh, this guy's going to come in and do all this stuff. Everything's worked out for them.
Right.
And you watch, not only just, now you get the glasses, okay? Strahan designed suits for every player when they travel. So like you're getting all these perks on top of what he's telling you is coming to. It's happening.
Yeah. And that's my point. These kids are playing hard for him. So now you're poking the bear and you're poking the entire army because he has the entire army behind him. So you screwed up, dude, because now you insulted their father. Because it's like their father away from their father. You know what I mean? You insulted the guy that is molding them, the guy that is taking care of them, the guy that is leading them to victories, the guy that is making their university better, their team better, their atmosphere better, everything better. That's who you're screwing with. So now the entire fan base is going to go after CSU. The entire football team is going to be mad about going after CSU. The training staff is going to make sure that they get every player as prepared as possible to kick CSU's ass. You just lit up the entire freaking program, not just the players, because Deion has now gotten everybody there. Even if anybody that had some doubt at this point, like if you still have doubt, it's kind of like the Tua thing. If you still have doubt at this point, I can't help you, bro. You're not very smart. And Jay Norvell is not very smart. And by the way, I feel bad for his kids because the kids didn't say anything, and the kids are the ones that are going to take the ass kicking. What you got?
I was gonna say, it's like, you're starting all this with, getting these kids fired up, and the kids behind you not as fired up as those kids in Colorado are.
No, not at all.
Half of them are probably like, what are you doing, coach? Why?
Not at all.
Why?
Not at all. By the way, we're going to get you ready for the New England game. Obviously, we have 2 hours pregame show, and we'll get you ready for it. We'll have a lot of things to talk about then. But I want you to think about something as we head into this game on Sunday night. Last week against Philadelphia, Mac Jones went 35 of 54 for 316 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. Now, Kendrick Bourne was the leading receiver at 6 receptions for 64 yards and 2 touchdowns. Ramondre Stevenson had 6 receptions. Hunter Henry had 5 receptions. Ramondre, it was 6 for 64. Hunter Henry, 5 for 56 and a touchdown. Mike Gesicki had 3 for 36 yards. Zeke Elliott caught 5 passes for 14 yards. The tight ends and running backs caught a total of 19 balls out of the 35 that were completed by Mac Jones. He threw 54 times, completed 35 of them. 19 of his 35 receptions went to running backs or tight ends. This is a very conservative offense. This is an offense that is working a lot of the middle of the field. So Miami is going to have to be exceptional when it comes to the middle of the field. They are not going to be tested on the outsides nearly as much. Now, he does like to switch things up, and maybe he might test it out, but then again, they ran the ball so well this week against Miami. You wonder if that is setting something up for this week. And does Belichick see that? And does he unleash Ramondre Stevenson? Because Ramondre Stevenson last week only had 25 yards rushing on 12 carries. He averaged 2 yards a carry. Did not do well last week, against, again, Philadelphia is not an easy team to play, but they were able to find success by using the running backs and the tight ends as wide receivers. That was their main targets. Miami is the opposite, obviously. The receivers are the ones that carry the heavy load. The running backs then come in second, and obviously the tight ends are a distant third on this team. They're going to attack them a different way. Now, we don't know if Miami will use the run game more than they did last week. Or last week, they pretty much abandoned the running game because they wanted to make some kind of a point. I'm going to be interested to see how the New England Patriots attack Miami, because I don't think that Mac Jones is going to be attacking the outsides too much. He doesn't have a cannon for an arm, to be quite honest. Okay. And it's not what he normally does. He doesn't really challenge to the outside. And because Devontae Parker is also going to be injured again, you're not really going to have the guy on the outside that can really win the one-on-ones. So I kind of expect a lot of this that you saw last week, tight ends and running backs, to be a part of this offense and to be catching. So Jerome Baker and company might be pretty active here. Andrew Van Ginkel and Javon Holland and Deshaun Elliott and Brandon Jones gets in there and all those guys. Something tells me that middle of the field is going to be incredibly active, because I just don't see Mac Jones testing X a whole ton. And even Kader Kohou, who's actually, played pretty well, he's going to have his share. And then obviously on the outside with Eli Apple, that's probably where, when they go to the outside, they probably will test it. But the one thing you want to look at in this game is how much New England is going to work the tight ends and the running backs, because Mac Jones is not as trusted as people make it out to be. And by nature, Mac Jones is a conservative quarterback. He is not an aggressive quarterback. He doesn't take a ton of chances. He will not test a ton of tight windows. So that's why I think you're going to see a lot of the tight ends and the running backs once again as wide receivers. Miami better be ready for it. Victor Huertas, he says, and thank you for the love on the super chat. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Send Safed a reminder there. And Victor says, if I'm not mistaken, Oregon head coach made a comment or something about Deion. They play them next week. He did? I don't know about that. If he did, that's really stupid. Well, what comment was it? Was it a bad comment? Was it a smart-ass comment? Huh?
At least Oregon might have some players that can stay with Colorado, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're not Norville out there making comments and your guys.
No, you're CSU.
Being able to back up.
Yeah. Huh? Oh, I think it's at CSU, actually. I think it's at CSU. Look it up. It's the last game. When you go to the top 25, it's the bottom game. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Anyway. What else do we have here going on in the world of sports? And let's see. Just try and check out the world of crypto, see if there's anything new. Nothing new. Nothing exploding. Not right now, at least. Everything's kind of status quo. Remember, if your company wants to be a part of ours and be a part of our platform and reach a lot of folks locally, statewide, nationally, and internationally, 786 754 4664. That's 786 754 4664. Baptist Health of South Florida, folks. Listen, you don't need to be a professional athlete to go where the pros go. The doctors at Baptist Health Orthopedic Care can see you now. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho to request an appointment and get yourself back in the game. I have not experienced those kind of pains, but if you are a weekend warrior and your pickup basketball game or softball game or paddleball and you suffer some kind of an injury, get back to doing what you love, folks, man. Take charge of your health and get back in the game with the help of the all-pro staff at Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. And Baptist Health, by the way, is the official sports medicine provider for the Miami Heat, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, FIU, FAU, Orange Bowl, Miami-Dade County Public Schools, and Miami Open Tennis. And take it from someone who has visited Baptist Health of South Florida for many reasons, from 5 stents in my heart to a colonoscopy to all kinds of things. My daughter was born there. My wife had her broken jaw fixed there. I mean, they've helped our family in so many different ways, and they do such a great job. And once again, I will remind you, if you are in your late 40s and into your 50s and you have not gone to have your colonoscopy, please go do it. Okay? Please. It is something preventative that you can do, and it's not embarrassing, it's not shameful. They do it in an incredibly professional and a respectful manner that I'm telling. They told me they don't need to see me for 5 years because everything checked out perfect, right? Thank the Lord. But because I'm going to be 57 in 2 weeks, I'm going to go back in 2 years just to be safe. I don't even want to wait 5 years. Now that I experienced it and it was like nothing, and that I was terrified of it, to be quite honest, embarrassed, terrified. I thought I was going to be uncomfortable. None of that. So please reach out to the folks. You see the QR code right there. Baptist Health, they will take care of you, man. Orthopedic care too. If you're struggling, they can definitely help you out. All right. Speaking of Baptist Health, Safadine is ready to go with our baptisthealth.net/ortho Miami Dolphins report.
Let's get the latest from the Aqua and Orange with our Baptist Health of South Florida Miami Dolphins report with USA Today insider Safadine. From orthopedics, sports medicine, cardiovascular, and even cancer. Get the world-class healthcare your family deserves at baptisthealth.net. Here's Safadine.
Oh, my man, you doing good? You ready for some chowder?
I would love to have some. I'm staying home for the game, though.
Okay, all right, good for you.
Sunday night on the couch. That's gonna be great.
Good for all our people that are going up there, media, Dolphin staff, and players, and obviously me. So not that they were going to get walloped, but they're going to get some wind and some water and all that. But Sunday should be clear for the game at least. So that's the good thing, that the storm really won't be an issue for the game.
Yeah, man. When I saw it coming in Atlantic, I'm looking like, wow, this might be coming towards us, and thank goodness it turned upward. And hopefully, when you get up in those northern waters, it is a little bit cooler, so it should weaken significantly at that point. But we'll see how much it does affect. By Sunday night, they should be in the clear. If game was a little bit earlier in the day, I could even see it would be some sort of postponement. But hopefully Sunday night they're all in the clear.
So how'd you enjoy Brian Flores giving up 259 yards rushing there? In fact, I think DeAndre Swift just scored again.
Look at, like I told you last week, all new defenses take some time to iron out the kinks. The Dolphins were doing that when Brian Flores was here. The Dolphins did it even just last week with Vic Fangio here. That was a good game last night. It was funny because I was really wondering in the first half, like, did the Eagles really lose everything when they lost their coordinators, their offensive coordinator and their defensive coordinator? And then sure enough, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, and DeAndre Swift definitely showed up in that game. What a crazy game. And it was a very Thursday night game in the sense that it was just all turnovers at first in the first half. And obviously Kirk Cousins didn't have a bad game. 360 yards, 4 touchdowns, just he was playing from behind the whole game. So nice Thursday slate, nice Thursday game for sure.
Yeah. It started off like it was going to be a bad game, and then obviously it got closer and it got a little tighter. So that was actually good. It was good because the game, I love that is back to being boring again. Because over the last couple of years they would play shitty teams and they would play them tough, and they would even lose to some of these crappy teams.
Yeah.
Now they're back to beating down the shitty teams and boring the hell out of us, which boredom is really good against bad teams. So last night I was bored against Bethune-Cookman, and I said, all right, let me switch over right away to the NFL game, and at least that one, they made it a game, down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what are you expecting from New England? How do you expect them to attack Miami?
Offensively or defensively?
Offensive.
Offensively, they're going to be in some trouble, man. They got some O-line issues going into this game. Trent Brown's probably going to be out because he has a concussion. Sidney So and also has a concussion, might not play. David Andrews, their center, has a hamstring. He's been limited in practice all week. They got a couple other guys that are limited in practice. I think all their starters are. So offensively, they're hoping for some healthy bodies to come back. If I'm Miami, I'm looking at the injury report. I'm like waiting the game time to see what's going on. But obviously, I'm pushing everything back. I know Vic Fangio said kind of a little bit yesterday, blitzing at times is good and not all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because there still is an element of surprise to this. But when you have some second string linemen in there, with the potential of that happening on Sunday, I think the Dolphins kind of they need to pin their ears back and go after the quarterback. Offensively,
but that's not his thing, right? He's not a real big blitzer. He'll blitz, but it's not like he's not. Fangio's defenses are never blitz happy defenses. They're strategically blitzing type of teams. They like to keep everything in front. They're more of a coverage defense more than anything else, and that's kind of what they did. Last week they kind of played that game, and then they hit the blitz on the timely moments. And I got to say, it really helped them out because they kind of lulled them with a jab, 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 and boom, they hit you with that right and knocked your ass out. And that was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was cool last week for sure, because at times when you were watching the defense last week, you were like, what are these guys doing? Are these guys, in the right positions? Is this defense ever going to make a stop? And sure enough, they played a lot better in the second half. They played a lot better in that fourth quarter. And I would say that against New England this week, they're going to test the O-line early. I think that will be the right thing to do. New England kind of struggled a little bit last week before they, scored 2 touchdowns. I think before then in the second quarter, even, early in the second half. But, we all know what Mac Jones is as a quarterback, very limited.
And conservative.
Yeah, it's the don't turn the ball over, let's win with defense kind of style of play. The Dolphins can play that with anybody for sure. I think offensively, I would like to see how the Dolphins pursue this game, because I don't think it's going to be another one like last week where they, Tua's throwing a 460. I think this is going to be like a 200-yard game, 2-3 touchdown by Tua kind of game where you're limited in possessions. You know what I mean? Like Tyreek's not going to go off and go crazy, I think. But I think this is a game where Waddle kind of comes out. Waddle always kind of plays really well against the Patriots. And especially after last week, I would consider that they maybe feed Waddle a little bit more because they had Tyreek running all over the field last week. I think the Dolphins are gonna pull this one out though for sure. I think everything's kind of leaning up towards them. They have all the momentum. Health wise, they're doing pretty okay outside of Tehran and Jalen Ramsey. And so I think the Dolphins will be okay in this one. But this is going to be a low-scoring game. Sunday night, all eyes are going to be on the Dolphins. And Mike, especially after what they did last week, I really want to see them deliver.
I brought this out. I talked to the folks about this today on the show. Mac Jones completed 35 of 54 passes. In his 35 passes, 6 of them went to Ramondre Stevenson. 5 of them went to Hunter Henry. 3 of them went to Mike Gesicki. 5 of them went to Zeke Elliott, 5 for 14 yards. 19 of his 35 completions went to running backs and tight ends. So the majority of his passes are going to go in a more conservative type of style. And do you think they will attack Miami the same way? Because I just don't see that. I don't see him attacking on the outsides. I don't see him going after X a lot. I can see him testing Eli, but again, he's not really the guy that is going to be ultra aggressive. So what I told you there, what they did against Philadelphia, has got a damn good defense. Do you think there'll be a lot of the same?
Big O Mac Jones passed the ball 54 times last week.
Yeah, he did.
No wonder they lost that game. Yeah, if Mac Jones is passing 54 times in a game, it's a bad recipe for success, man. What are they doing? Like, how many rushes did those guys have? I can understand the targets of the backfield. It's just dink and dunk. And that's today's NFL. I'm sorry, everybody that's gonna ride Tua for his arm strength, like they really need to check what we're watching on the field nowadays. Patrick Mahomes, everything is in front of him. Justin Herbert, everything is in front of him.
He's a check down Charlie, bro. Justin Herbert checks down as much as anybody in the NFL, even with all his gifts. He's a check down Charlie all the time.
Sometimes you got to beat the check down with a hammer. That's a recipe for success in the NFL. I would rather go get 3 yards, 2 yards, whatever, to set me up for a better position in another down than take a loss trying to go stretch the field for a play that's not going to be there when you have.
Brady lived with it. He lived going underneath all the time, bro.
It's a dink and dunk league now. As much as people want to question arm strength, it's a dink and dunk league. And then when you get inside the 40, Tua can, really throw one up there, and Tyreek can run past everybody. Not everybody has that kind of receiver that can run past everybody like the Dolphins do, and they have 2 of them. But yeah, going back to your question, Mac Jones passing 54 times. Oh my God. I can't believe that. That's why I was smiling the whole time you were reading that stat out. I could not believe that at all. But yeah, look, the Dolphins, at least it's, they're going to have to hold their gaps. They're going to definitely have to figure out where Mac Jones likes to attack the field. And I'm pretty sure Vic Fangio will quickly determine that. Plus, the Dolphins players, they have a lot of experience going up against these guys. And Tua does as well, too. I think Mike and Tua are going to have a much better game plan ready for the Patriots because it's their second go at it together. For Tua, I believe this is his 5th game since he's 4-0. And that defense, they already know those guys over there. I don't think they're going to be too hung up by a challenge here, but they got to deliver. All eyes are going to be on them on Sunday night. It's a quick opportunity for them to be on prime time. It's a quick opportunity for them to kind of show the whole entire league, hey, we got a squad this year and we're coming for something.
And by the way, 22 rushes is what New England had last week.
So they had the ball a lot.
So, yeah. And do you expect Miami, who, did not run last week, do you expect them to add the running game a little bit more this week?
I don't think so. I wouldn't take the ball out of Tua's. I wouldn't take the ball out of Tua's hands if he's playing as well as he is playing. If he is getting into a groove during this game, I definitely wouldn't. Mostert had barely double-digit carries. I think he had 11. Ahmed probably had the worst game of any player last week. Just was not in good position. And that's what we all kind of worried about with him is he looked good in the preseason, can look good in practice, but when it's time for those little opportunities during the season, is he going to deliver?
Well, he did last year. He did last year. It's just this one. But in this game,
at times
nobody really was running. Pretty much, they never really established the run. And my problem with all of that is once you start a game and you get all pass happy. In the middle of the game, you can't just turn on and say, all right, guys, let's turn it on now and let's start road grading. That just doesn't happen if you don't establish it from the get-go.
Yeah, and sometimes it goes the other way around too. You establish your run so much like the Chargers did last week, and Justin Herbert is not comfortable. So, it really depends where you pick your poison or the poison that you want to give, you know what I mean, before it comes back to you. I wouldn't take the ball out of Tua's hands. We obviously know the running game needs to be there, and it will be there to a certain extent. But I think what they showed Belichick last week is Tyreek is moving all over the field. It doesn't matter where he's lining up. He's going to end up some other place. And he could be a decoy half the time too. And we haven't really got to that point of the game plans where we've seen Tyreek as a decoy kind of running certain place and it opens up for other people. But this offense is so layered. Mike's offense is so layered. It's catered to getting these guys not only in space for an open throw, but in space to run after the catch. It's literally what Mike McDaniel promised, yards after catch. So we'll see. This is going to be a tough test. Mike is, what are they, 1-1 against the Patriots last year? They weren't 2-0, were they?
No, Tua is undefeated, bro. Yeah.
No, but did Tua play both games against Patriots last year?
I think he did actually, right? I think he was 2-0 against them last year. I'm pretty sure.
That guy Tua, man. And look, and like I said, this is a scheme where he was going up against it in practice every day. Teddy Bridgewater started the game last year, the January 1st game. So the second game he didn't play. Yeah, the Dolphins lost that game. So look, this is definitely going to be a game where I think Tua is going to not be surprised by what he sees. Maybe there's a wrinkle in there that maybe gets Tua. And then there's an opportunity for him to rebound like he always does when he does have a bad play.
So he got player of the week this week. So good for him, bro. What's the prediction, Safed? Got the Dolphins favored by 3 now, not 2.5.
I thought it was
line has gone up.
I thought it was 3.5. Okay, so it's 2.5 and went up to 3.
Yep, it went up to 3 now.
Got it. And is it still 46.5?
What do you got? But you're not picking points, dude. You're just picking.
No.
You can give me the points suggestion, but you have the
Dolphins 24-20. I would even say maybe like 18. Dolphins 24-20.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I got the Dolphins winning this one. They're obviously the better team.
Yeah. All right.
The Patriots think they're really good. The Patriots think they could compete with the Eagles, right? And after last week, maybe you say so. And then when you look at how the Eagles played last night, you realize the Patriots played them tough, but they're not as good. They're not as good at all. Offensively, they don't have.
Yeah, their offense right now doesn't. And AJ's that's a bad look for you, dude. You won yesterday. Don't complain, bro. That's a bad look. Yeah, that was a bad look by AJ Brown, bro. You don't complain, bro. You don't complain. You can go have a conversation calmly during the week. Hey, coach, can I get a little bit more action this week? But
and he's going to get it too.
Of course he's going to get it. It's only game 1, but you won the game, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You're just not allowed to complain about shit like this and make it a thing publicly when you won. It's just a terrible, terrible look for any athlete, dude. That's
it looks bad. It looks bad even more because Devontae had 4 catches for 165 or whatever it was, 135, I think. Devontae had a good game and he only needed 2 catches to make that happen. So I can understand why he would feel that way. And obviously, when the Eagles get to the goal line, they're not passing the ball. Jalen Hurts is gonna crouch behind that O-line and they're gonna do that play, and nobody can stop it. Nobody can stop it. No. Poor Brian Flores' defense. They called timeout and they ran the same play back to back. I don't know if you saw that in the first half.
I saw it.
Yeah, it was just you can't stop that play.
It's a hammer. You can't stop it. It's a hammer. I get it. And AJ should know what team he plays on. And by acting like that, you're basically saying, I'm not happy that Devonta Smith had a great game and I didn't. And you're being a dick, bro. You're the guy that's going to have more games than Devonta Smith when it's all said and done. So chill out, bro. It was the other guy's turn. You know what I mean? Like you said, maybe this is the week where Waddle has a big week and Tyreek is not going to sit there and complain if you won. You know, that doesn't make any sense, dude. And just
no, I agree. It's not a good look by AJ Brown, but I think at the same time too, there's some positives to see from it for the Eagles. I would like to see my star player, my star receiver, be upset or be, I like to see them talk about it.
But that's during the week. That's during the week. Don't show up your teammates, your head coach publicly,
especially in a game you're up double digits in.
Yeah. This is when you get there on Monday. Hey, coach. All right, man. I'm glad we won, but what can we do this week so I can get a couple more balls this way? Because I need a little more action. All right, AJ, we'll work it in. Then boom, 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 and you do it like a professional. When you show them up like that, I thought that was really uncool on his part. All right, what do you got going on USA Today so they can check you out, my friend?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, we're doing a lot of video, man. I'm here joining you 3 times a week. Can't wait to join you again for post game.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, recap week 1 over there at USA Today. So check us out. We have a great show, Sports Seriously, where we're interviewing a lot of people across the world of sports. So please check us out. Messi's playing tomorrow night in Atlanta. We'll see how much he does play. He's back. Big O, they got 5 games at the end of this month. That is ridiculous, man.
I'm glad he didn't play this last game here. He took it off. So he's actually been off for about 10 days.
Yeah,
so
he needs to.
Not too bad.
He needs more. He needs more. I think the best part about it is that they have 3 home games. So I think some of these home games he's going to come off the bench.
Right. Yes. Hopefully, or leave early. Something like get him out in the city. The good thing right now is Campana is healthy, and that's always been. He's Tua. He's our Tua in Inter Miami.
Okay,
he's not as good as Tua, but it's the same thing. Like smart people, you don't doubt his ability. Like I never doubted Tua's ability. You doubted his availability, and that was Campana's problem. Campana's problem was availability. The first couple of years, he always flashed. He always showed you he was a stud. Yeah. And now this year, I don't know what it is because I talked to Michelle earlier in the week and I said, you got to ask him, what's he specifically doing with his body now that he wasn't doing before because he figured out how to stay on the pitch. And that's the beauty that you can take Messi off the field and Campana can be your lead guy and he can be incredibly effective, especially when you have the midfield play that you have now from Busquets and others.
Yeah, I definitely like Campana's height as well. It definitely helps with the headers and those opportunities. You're not getting that with anybody else on the team.
No, in the box. Yeah, you're right.
You're not getting it with anybody else on the team. Always learn something from you, Big O. Thank you, man.
You got it, my brother. Appreciate you.
Talk to you post-game.
Follow him on Twitter at Safed_Dean. That's a must follow. Safed, appreciate you. See you Sunday night.
Have a good one, Big O.
You got it, baby. There you go. Safed Dean. And our BaptistHealth.net/ortho. Miami Dolphins report.
The Baptist Health of South Florida Miami Dolphins report with insider Safed Dean is brought to you by Baptist Health of South Florida. From orthopedics, sports medicine, cardiovascular, and even cancer. Get the world-class healthcare your family deserves at BaptistHealth.net.
Rayom, proud sponsors of our program. We love Welton Rayom. They are in Hollywood. They are the law firm that you should call if you're dealing with bankruptcy, personal injury, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation. And folks, we're still in storm season. We're going to be in storm season till November 30th. And we're actually in the peak right now. We're in the peak of hurricane season. Now it starts to decline the second half of September and October. But this is the peak right now. As you can see, some storms out there. Luckily, they're not coming our way. But if they do, and you suffer some kind of water damage, or let's say you live in a condo and somebody's pipe breaks, and then the water damage comes into your condo, or maybe something has happened to you in the last month, 6 months, year, 2 years, and you're wondering, do I have a case when this happened? Because this set me back. Do I have a case? Call Jeff now, man. Call him 954-966
4646 Welton Rayom. The consultation is completely free. You can ask them, hey, look, this happened to me. Do I have a case? And they'll tell you if you have a case or not. And if, the statute of limitations has passed or anything along those lines. But you don't know all the rules. You don't know all the laws. That's why you don't want to deal with insurance companies, because they know we don't know, so they take advantage of us. You call your lawyers first. They call the insurance companies. That's why you call Welton Rayom. They will handle the insurance companies for you. 954-966-4646. Right. De Jose or De Jesse. I don't know what it is there. It says, but he's got Dolphins winning 34-17. I like it. Dolphins lost last year with Teddy Shitwater. Yeah, I was told that it was Teddy, but I had to read the Shitwater. That's actually good. The defense of New England always gives them a chance, but yeah, there's nothing impressive outside of that. Yep, I agree. Oh, the Jefferson fumble into the end zone. The touchback there seemed like a dumb rule. You fumble the ball out at the 5 and your team doesn't lose the ball. Maybe a penalty. No. He fumbled it into the end zone. That's a good call. I have no problem with that call. Okay, he lost control and he fumbled it into the end zone. He had to get it to the left side of the cone. He got it on the right side. I have no problem with that, dude. That's a fumble into the end zone. What are you going to do with the ball then? You've lost possession of the ball into the end zone. That's just the way it goes. Everything inside that pylon is a score. So it doesn't matter that it goes inside the pylon and it bounces out of bounds, because if you're going to score that way, then that has to be also a touchback at the same time. You got to have consistency with the call. You know what I'm saying? So I disagree with you. I have no problem with that being a touchback. He lost control into the end zone. That's, his terrible mistake. Nobody else. He can't look at anybody else. Maybe you should stop worrying about having your little chain on when you're playing the game. I know you're a hell of a receiver, but, focus on everything you got to do. In the fourth quarter, Coach Prime would have took his foot off the pedal versus Colorado State, but now it's full throttle the entire game. The closest thing to a sure thing to cover. Yep. I would definitely put the points down, because they're going to run it up on their ass, and they should. Too bad. You want to run your mouth? Now you're going to pay the price. That's what's going to happen. We are awaiting Cameron Wolfe to join us and see what's the latest when sports and business collide. We like doing something called the KSDT CPA Sports Business Report. It's just fun to kind of talk about the drama. Plus, the guy that I'm a least fan of is losing, which to me is actually good, because he's a freaking loser no matter what. Screaming A. Smith's recruitment of Shannon Sharpe to First Take continues to pay dividends for ESPN. The 3-time Super Bowl champ returned to First Take earlier this week with Smith and Molly Quirm. For the second week in a row, their audience dwarfed Skip Bayless and Undisputed live on Monday after the first weekend of the NFL season. First Take posted 626,000 viewers to 185,000 for Undisputed. On Tuesday, the day after Aaron Rodgers' season-ending injury, First Take drew 717,000 viewers compared to 118,000 for Undisputed. This was the third biggest audience for First Take this year, behind only Sharpe's Labor Day debut and February 13th episode of Super Bowl 57. Sharpe appears on First Take Mondays and Tuesdays. The 2-day average for his shows this week was up 22% comparable episodes to last season. The number also doubles the show's average audience
of 363,000 viewers in July. And that, my friends, is a beautiful thing because Skip Baseless is losing. And I like that. I like it a lot because I think that loser deserves no love whatsoever. Okay? It's amazing to me how people even give that guy the time of day and they fall for his bullshit all the time and and all the crap he gives LeBron for no reason at all. Just garbage. All right, that is your KSDT CPA Sports Business Report.
This has been the KSDT Sports Business Report. KSDT CPA is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax and accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit online at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
Today, well, we're in the United States, right? So Meghan Markle's husband, Harry, is 39. Movie actor Tom Hardy is 46. Let's see. Marco Polo, born on this date in 1254. Died in 1324. Yeah, they did. Didn't you see it? They just brought him out in Mexico. He was all, dried up and everything. They called it an alien, but it's really Marco Polo. You think it's an alien, but it was really Marco Polo after being, saved for 1,000 years. I've heard of her, Lisa Vanderpump. I don't watch any show, but I know it says reality star, whatever, 63. Good for her, whatever. Ben Schwartz, TV actor, is 42 today. Agatha Christie, the novelist. She was born in 1890 on this date, died in 1976. Tommy Lee Jones is 77 today. Actress Chelsea Kane is 35. Comedian who I don't find funny, Jimmy Carr, is 51. I very few of his jokes actually land, I got to say. William Howard Taft, former president, born in 1857 on this date, died in 1930. Dan Marino was born on this date and is 62 years old. The man with gold in his hair. And, by the way, a FIBA champion, right? Dennis Schroeder. Didn't Germany win? So Dennis Schroeder, the champion, the FIBA champion, is 30 years old today. Brendan O'Carroll, comedian, is 68. Gaylord Perry, pitcher, born in 38 on this date, died in 2022. Just recently lost him. And that's it. That's it for famous birthdays today. Now let's go with music history. In 1979, Led Zeppelin started a 7-week run at the top of the album charts with In Through the Outdoor. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, baby. In 2003, Billy Corgan announced the end of his post-Smashing Pumpkins project, Zwan, explaining there's not enough time to tell you what happened. In 69 on this date, Deep Purple recorded Concerto for Rock Band and Orchestra with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. In 1998, the band released their 10th and final studio album, Jubilation. Original members Levon Helm, Rick Danko, and Garth Hudson were joined on the record by the likes of Eric Clapton and John Hyatt. In 1998, on this date, Marilyn Manson released his third studio album, Mechanical Animals. In 2004, on this date, Ramones guitarist Johnny Ramone died at the age of 55 from prostate cancer. Please have your colonoscopy. Please have your colonoscopy. Okay? 55. man, I was really, really dumb to wait as long as I did to have my colonoscopy. Thank the Lord that everything was all right. But for those of you out there, I wish you would do it. Okay, if you're in your late 40s to 50s, please. By the way, the Achilles surgery for Aaron Rodgers was great. Cam's in there. All right, way to go. I didn't hear the pop. Oh, very good. Okay. All right, folks, let's talk a little Dolphins football. Let's unleash the Wolf Pack.
We unleash the Wolf Pack as we get the latest in the NFL and the Miami Dolphins with our KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL Network insider Cameron Wolfe. KSDT is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370. Here's NFL insider Cameron Wolfe.
And ready to go. Are you traveling to New England? Are you traveling to New England this week?
No, I'm actually going to Jacksonville this week. I've got Jags Chiefs, and so
that's
I
right.
will miss the hurricane, monsoon, whatever's going to go on in the weather.
No. It's going on Saturday. Everybody's safe. No. It's going by on Saturday.
Good.
So, yeah, that's good. That's actually the good thing. Saturday is the bad day for them. Even though New England is really not going to get, like, the worst of it, it's really Maine that's going to get more of it than they'll get some rain and wind and all that, but it'll be on Saturday. By Sunday, it's already gone. It's way gone.
Okay.
So that's the good thing. And they all get a break and all that stuff. Traveling might be a little
they don't play till Sunday night either.
Right, and they don't play till Sunday night. So, maybe they'll travel late Saturday or something because maybe during the day it might be not the safest time to travel over there. Who knows? I don't know how they'll handle that. Yeah,
that's a good point. I was talking to some of the reporters who are traveling, and they were trying to decide. I think some of them are going to go tonight to get ahead of the storm versus risking it later. So, but it's probably different when you have to buy a commercial flight versus the team when you can leave whenever you decide with your private jet.
Exactly. Yeah. You just leave whenever the hell you want, and you're good. What'd you think of last night?
Yeah, I thought it was a good game, man. Philly's interesting because after you win a Super Bowl, or after you get to the Super Bowl, not win the Super Bowl, all the attention is, can you repeat? And so they're 2-0. They've looked decent, but I think the overwhelming feel is like they don't look like they looked last year yet. Why aren't they throwing the ball here? Why is AJ Brown mad at the sideline? And these kind of seem like rich people problems, right? Like they still beat the Vikings. They still probably are the best team in the NFC, and they're figuring it out. So, Kirk Cousins actually played relatively well. I know he gets the knock of not being prime time, but the dudes who couldn't hang on to the ball, the running back and some other dudes, those are the dudes who cost them the game yesterday. So, good game.
And they couldn't stop. And our buddy Brian Flores couldn't stop the run because they
gave up 254 yards. And so it was interesting because early in the game, I think Flores had some success with the blitz against Jalen Hurts. And they threw a pick and they had some pressures. But they didn't adjust, and the Eagles did. The Eagles essentially said, okay, you're going to blitz. You're going to get Jalen Hurts off his spot. Well, we're just going to pound you with the run game. And I think there was that one touchdown drive where they literally ran the ball, I think 12 or 13 times on that drive, just with DeAndre Swift going crazy. And yeah, that's how you beat a aggressive defense. You just run the ball. So that's probably the, I know the Dolphins gave up 234, but I don't know, that might be the biggest team rushing game of the season so far. 250 something against Brian Flores and Vikings defense.
Yeah,
so.
Bro. It's a lot of yards, bro. I think Swift just scored again. He's Swift has scored 3 more times here during this show. So it's pretty ugly.
So Swift said after the game, I was watching the pressers, that this was the most yards he's had since high school. So He just had a career day, his first game in Philly.
Well, hey, man, he can thank Brian Flores. I mean, that's thank Brian Flores for giving him one hell of a performance overall. We start to look at, oh man, what was I was gonna add, oh yes, the Jets. I had Antoine Staley on from the New York Daily News. You know Antoine,
Okay.
he's covering the Dolphins.
Yeah, good dude.
And so we were talking about this mess with the Jets. And so Aaron had his surgery and it went well. And obviously he's talking about coming back. And the money that they have committed already to him, they're like locked in already.
Yeah.
I mean, in the third year, they have $51 million of dead cap money in the third year. We're not even talking about the second year. So he's going to come back. So they're going to bring back a 40-year-old quarterback he's got a bad calf, and now he's coming off an Achilles surgery with one of the worst offensive lines in all of football. And on top of all of that, you've kind of gone all in. So I don't know how much more money you've got to commit to all of this and how much more you're going to try to free up when it comes to all of this, because you're going to have to go out and buy linemen, but that's really not usually available to buy linemen, and people aren't really willing to trade. So you've it's almost like the Jets have kind of put themselves in a vicious cycle where they committed to an older quarterback who is now broken down, but they're overcommitted to him. And at the same time, you're going to allow your young guys to start getting older on you, and your window for that defense might start closing on you in a couple of years if this is your game plan to go with the old quarterback. I again, as a Dolphins fan, I got to tell you, I'm sitting back laughing my ass off on this. But to me, the Jets made a deal that is basically going to bury them.
Yeah, it seemed like the Jets made a call that we're going all in, for better or for worse, right? You know, it's one of those decisions. I don't know if you guys have ever played poker before, but I like poker and Texas Hold'em. And you're looking at your stack and you're like, man, I'm a little low on chips. And the reality is, I'm gonna go all in with this. You know, it might be a queen jack, right? It's not the best hand in the book, but it's what I've got. And you go all in with it. You put all your chips in, and then all of a sudden the river turns and it's two aces, and you don't really have any choice. You can't fold at that point. You're all in. You know, somebody probably has an ace. You're probably screwed. You're probably done. But you know, you look at your hand and you said, "This is the situation I've got. I've got to go all in." The Jets have essentially gone all in with their older quarterback. It's not the best situation, but it's the one they were dealt, and now they have no choice but to hope that next year he comes back 100%. They can patch up the roster and take their one last swing at it. Their hope was they were going to get two swings at it. Probably only going to get one next year if he comes back 100%. He probably makes one more run, and then, you know, I'd imagine that's it. And so instead of two Broadway shows to see if they can get that one title, they get one shot. And, you know, Zach Wilson, I know Salah's saying, why are you guys writing their obituary? Maybe Zach Wilson shows us something that we haven't seen. I'm not expecting it. I think that they would be lucky to get back to where they were last year, which was right at 500. The defense is really special, but you can't win in this league when you're essentially hiding your quarterback.
Oh, they're the Dolphins.
They're going to have to hide their
Bro, they're the Dolphins.
Quarterback.
They're the Dolphins of many years here for the last 20. Defense and Ricky Williams, defense and Lamar Smith, defense and Jay Ajayi. The same shit, dude. Same shit. Weak offensive line, a quarterback that can't carry you, a defense that plays their ass off, a decent running game, but you just don't have enough. I've seen this movie. Oh, my God, have I seen this movie in Aqua and Orange? I have seen this movie a lot in Aqua and Orange. You know what I mean? And I get the whole thing, the rah-rah stuff, and, you know, our defense always plays hard, and they'll play hard, and this, that. Eventually, they all get tired, bro. It doesn't matter who they are. They get tired of carrying your ass and knowing that there's no hope on the other side. And that's what becomes, you know, what's that word I want to find, that it just drains you. That's the part that just takes the life out of you, that you know there is no hope on the other side. It sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough as a defender when you look on the other side of the ball and you just have there's nothing to get excited about, right? It's been a long time, but I played football in high school, and you whether you like it or not, there's always some sort of a divide or looking on the other side. And I remember times where you look at the offensive side and you just know, we're going to be lucky to score 17 points today.
Right.
And so, it's a hard life to live every single week. There's some defenses that love the pressure. We're going to put it on our back, but it's so draining. Draining's the right word. That if you see your offense giving turnovers up, you make a good stop and you're right back on the field because your quarterback throws a pick, right? And so that in its essence, the draining, the mental element, maybe even more than the physical toll, is what gets teams in the back end of the season, which is why it's so hard for a team to win championship led by their defense, which is why, we always, a lot of fans are, why y'all get so obsessed with the quarterback? And trust me, I get tired of talking to the quarterback sometimes too, but it's so hard to win a title without a quarterback because everything else has to be perfect.
Yep.
Everything else has to be consistently perfect and not get mentally worn down by the fact that you're either don't have a quarterback or you're hiding your quarterback.
Yep. All right, so let's get to this matchup. I was talking with Sept about this. Mac Jones threw 54 times last week, completed 35 of them, but 19 of his 35 went to Ramondre Stevenson 6, Hunter Henry 5, Gesicki 3, and Zeke Elliott 5. 19 of the 35 went to tight ends and running backs. Are you expecting the same kind of conservative approach? Because I don't expect you to attack X, but you might attack a little bit of Eli. So what are you expecting? The conservative approach and maybe an occasional shot downfield, or will they change things up this week?
This will be a Ramondre Stevenson and Zeke Elliott game, in my view. I think they will get the ball plenty to their running backs. Like you said, the tight ends as well. Kendrick Bourne did have a nice game. I think he was the one receiver who had a couple of touchdowns. I think he had 5 or 6 catches.
6 for 64 and 2 touchdowns.
Right. So he was really the only receiver. And I think that he is their number one receiver technically now. Like I know Devontae Parker might be that guy in name, but Kendrick Bourne is there, and Juju. Devontae and Juju might be the two name guys that most people recognize, but Kendrick Bourne is their number one as far as effectiveness. But I think you'll see the Patriots look at the Dolphins tape and said, you gave up 234 rushing yards. Bill Belichick will say, we're going to see if we can make that 235, and to be honest, that's the way I would play it. The Dolphins, maybe it was just one game. The Dolphins hoped it was one game, but the Dolphins played very poor linebacker play. Andrew Van Ginkel, David Long, they were trying to rotate them both. They didn't have an answer. They were missing, like we talked about this before. We talked about the loss of Landon Roberts, and I mentioned to you I think Dolphins fans were underestimating that. That's who they looked like they missed last Sunday. They needed a guy in the middle who was going to stop the run, stop the plugging, shoot a gap. And right now there's a little bit of uncertainty in my mind there that they have fixed it. And so if I'm the Patriots, I attack what has been leaking, which is that run defense with Ramondre Stevenson and Zeke Elliott. They should be a little bit healthier on the offensive line than they were this past game, which should help them run the ball a little bit better too.
What's your prediction? What do you think happens?
I think the Dolphins get them. I think it'll be a little bit lower scoring than we saw in the Chargers game. I think give me 24 to 20 Dolphins. I think the Dolphins win a close one. I think the Patriots give them some trouble for a while, but the Dolphins get it out in the end.
All right, good stuff. I'm hoping that they're able. Do you think Tua will attack them the same way? You think they'll pass a lot, or do you think they'll try to run?
I do, but you know this. Tua's had a lot of success against Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick's a prideful dude. I'm sure he's going to have some different things in his book to try to get Tua off his spot, move him a little bit, try to test him a little bit. Whether it's pressing Tyreek on the line, whether it's trying to, play a little bit more zone coverage. The Dolphins torched the man coverage that the Chargers tried to do this past week. I don't think zone's going to work either, but you might as well try something different.
And here's what I would say to this. Good luck.
Yes.
Because all he's doing, and I'm talking about Tua now, all he's doing now is getting more and more comfortable.
Yep.
And that's the part that people, I don't think, that was part of the success this week, is that he's now in the second year of the system. And so now he was an entire offseason with the same system for 2 years in a row. And now he's been in the meeting rooms with Mike and Marino and everybody else for now 2 years in a row, talking the same language and everything. And that's what you saw out there. A guy that wasn't thinking at all, a guy that was just executing. And I think that's where, I was talking with, I think it was Marcel or somebody else over the last 2 days, that what we have to all take into account, with those people that jumped the gun on Tua and everything else, he got into the league, right? And he got into the league injured. So now he has to rehab for you while he's in his first year rehabbing. So his core was never strong. So in his second and third years, that's when he's strengthening his core now. And so now he's got his health back officially. He then bulked up the other part of his body. And now he's in the second year in the same offense, something he hasn't done either. So now, and he's playing with the same people pretty much he played last year with. So now you're giving him all this ammunition he's never had: health, experience, habitual opponents. You've now seen the Patriots and the Bills and everybody else a whole bunch of times. So that also becomes a positive for him. You know what I'm saying? All of these things, I don't think people understand that you're stacking all these things that are now all of a sudden making him what he is, an absolute stud.
Absolutely. And I'll just say this last thing for me. When you think about Tua, what he was really good at last year, and he's still good at, is being able to get the ball to the spot, be quick with his decisions, have very accurate throws, and be a timing monster in that scheme. What excites me most about his year 4 evolution is what we saw against the Chargers. Him when timing is broken, when Jalen Waddle falls on a route, when the defenders break inside your in-breaking route and jumping on it. What do you do when the core of your offense, the core of what you're best at, the core of what you may be the best in the league at, as far as the RPO and the timing and the accuracy, the team figures it out. And when he made that play on that 3rd and 10, he made a couple other plays, but that was the one that I think we all looked at. When he made the play of his first read falls down, the timing is disrupted. Tyreek does a little bit something with his route, ad-libs a little bit, and runs to go from there. You have to adjust. The pressure's coming. You step up on the pocket. Your feet are not set. Everything's not perfect, but you hit a 47-yard pass in between two defenders, the perfect spot. That, to me, is the next level of Tua, where you can be excellent on the timing routes, but also show the next level of creating plays when things break down. That's when you start to get to that elite level of quarterback play that we've seen spurts of for Tua for the last, 18 weeks. And I think that he's on track to do it again for this year.
Follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolfe. Catch his exceptional work, as always, at the NFL Network. Cam, as always, thank you, my brother. We will catch up next week, and have a great weekend and safe travels, my friend.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. Cameron Wolfe. We unleash the Wolf Pack.
This has been the KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL insider Cameron Wolfe. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
Sports and business collide. There's something we like to do, and it's called the KSDT CPA Sports Business Report. Right, against the Vikings. And last night they had a new sponsor in the building for the Eagles, Gran Coramino. That is the luxury tequila brand from, you know who? Do you know who? You have any idea? Comedian, entrepreneur, and Philadelphia native,
Kevin Hart. How about that? It's a big deal to be in a partnership with the Eagles and align with Philadelphia in any way is a good and dope feeling, said Kevin Hart. The deal with the franchise will include signage inside the team's Lincoln Financial Field, branded bars in the stadium, and marketing on the Eagles' digital platform. The Eagles hope to seize on the recent success of celebrity spirit brands and rise in tequila sales as many U.S. drinkers drop beer in favor of liquor. Gran Coramino is the latest luxury spirits brand to try to gain the market share through a league or team sponsorship as associations between beer and sports start to fade. Did not know that beer and sports were fading. Had no idea. How about that? So Kevin Hart, I mean, listen, I don't necessarily drink a lot, you know what I mean? And usually I'm a vodka guy, if anything. Not really a tequila guy, but tequila's good. I will say that. I've never tried it, actually. So you tried his you're not you don't drink much. You don't drink at all, right? You have what, like a beer a year? A beer every 2 years?
I don't do the beer. I'd go
no?
with the liquor. Yeah.
Yeah, you have liquor too? Yeah. I don't do too much. But yeah, Gran Coromino, by the way, is made with agave from the tequila area of Mexico, as all tequilas are. Hart, co-founder with the brand, with Juan Dominguez Beckman, CEO of Beckel, which is the parent company of Jose Cuervo, James Morrissey, CEO of Global Brands Equities. So there you go. It's a higher-end consumer with ample disposable income. The average NFL ticket will be $377 in 2023. That's crazy. $377. Yeah, I guess they can afford a tequila shot. That is your KSDT CPA Sports Business Report.
This has been the KSDT Sports Business Report. KSDT CPA is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax and accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit online at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
Thank you for the love in the super chat, sir. Appreciate you. And it says, watching Flo's defense last night showed it's not effective without great corners like X. I just think last night they got manhandled by a front that is just okay. All right, beautiful. So it's tough. But hey, listen, his defense wasn't good enough to stop the run, period. I don't know. I wouldn't blame it necessarily on the corners. I think there's a little bit more to that than just corners, to be quite honest. But I get you. We are going to wrap it up here. We thank, of course, Jeffrey Tarabolis and Alan and all the great people. Make all the noise you want. It doesn't affect us. Jeffrey Tarabolis, of course, from KSDT CPA. We thank Manny Navarro, Antoine Staley, Safed Dean, Cameron Wolfe. I told you this kitchen's like 2,000 square feet. There's a whole bunch of people eating here. They're all looking over here worried like they're making too much noise. But we've done shows in strip clubs, so we know noise. So it's all good. But we thank Cameron Wolfe and Safed Dean, Antoine Staley, Manny Navarro, Jeffrey Tarabolis, Alan, all the great people out here that make it nice and easy for us every single month. And, of course, Sean Stanley, the man, the myth, the legend. Anthony Chang. We will have a segment with Anthony Chang dropping also sometime this afternoon. So we'll have a little heat update for you, too. So look for that. Again, watch as much as you can. Even if you got to walk away, let it play. Watch hours are very important on the site. So if you get some time, put one of the wrestling shows, one of the rants, anything, an interview, whatever you can play, please. It's very important. And hit the like button, hit that notification bell. The like button is very important. It gets the algorithms going, all of that. So while you're watching, and remember, if you got to walk away, let it play. Yeah, baby. All right, we'll see you guys on Monday. No, we'll see you guys Sunday night. 6:20. As we get you ready for a little Dolphins and Patriots.
All right, we'll get you ready for all of that, and hopefully we'll be talking about a win. Post-game show, we'll have Safadine and David Furones. Furones will be joining us fresh out of the locker room, so we'll have all of that. On behalf of Sean and myself, we will see you on Sunday night. Y'all be good out there. Same time, same place, same bat channel.